name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello! Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and we are playing Return of the Giants, the premier homebrew D&D adventure. We are back. We are raring to go. I am well enough for tonight, I think. I'm sorry that we didn't have any sessions last night, and on Monday night we missed our Curse of Strahd and Avatar Legends campaign. Unfortunately, while I was away in Singapore with Simon, Simon and I were given a Constitution saving throw to roll. Simon passed. I think, what, do you reckon like a 16 or a 17 is probably fair to say for your roll? Maybe a 15.
Yeah, it wasn't fantastic, but I did pass. So
yeah, maybe a 14 then. I rolled like a 2. It was not fun. I've been quite sick with RSV the last couple of days. I am going to do my best to get through tonight. I am nicely drugged. My throat is soothed with strepsils. I am ready to go. Other brands are available. So it's going to be a great session. I'm going to have to try my best to avoid too many of the gravelly voices. I lose my voice within a few seconds of doing them. So really pleased that I don't have to play the character of Styx from Curse of Strahd tonight. I'm happy Threign's off doing something else. Please don't talk to any dwarves. I need you to be really racist tonight. Just don't talk to any dwarves, okay? If that's okay. Speciest. Given that I've set their accent very, very clearly as like a deep Scottish. Or Tabaxi is also going to be rough. Or Dragonborn. Or it's going to be fun.
You mean Tabaxi, like the guy that we're all about to try to buy our stuff from?
Yeah, just realizing that and having a moment of existential dread. So... Very sorry we didn't have any sessions, but we are very excited to be back, and it feels like it's been way too long. I hope everyone's been enjoying the episodes of Aloft that have been dropping on YouTube in the meantime. Lucky I recorded a whole bunch of extra episodes because we ended up needing those, so I hope you've been enjoying them. I had so much fun playing Aloft just before I went away to Singapore. I haven't recorded any new episodes since I got back, but there was a big update the other day, so I am looking forward to jumping back in the next couple of days or so, recording some more episodes. Really exciting news. I did a massive rebuild of the island. That episode's going to be coming out. I think it actually might have just come out if you're watching this recorded. For those of you watching live on Twitch, that episode will be coming out, I think, tomorrow. I really went to a lot of effort making the island look beautiful. Very much focused on aesthetics, using all of my Sims 4 building skills, which are not great, but I did my best. It looks really nice, if I say so myself. So yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying that. I am super keen to play around with some new games as well. There has been an update announced for The Wandering Village, which is a game I always love jumping back into. And Synergy, that other colony survival game that had that very sort of like surreal sci-fi kind of vibe. That's also had a huge update recently too, so I'll jump back in and do some updates on those too. I think that'll be really, really fun. So, I think we're pretty much ready to rock and roll, unless there's any other fun announcements to share before we jump in. Oh, we do have an announcement for Ali. How's your hand, Ali?
Bit sore.
Yeah, what happened?
I accidentally elbowed it just before, but
oh no.
Walking, yeah. But no, I was walking home after a run I think it was last week before, I don't know, but the neighbor's dog got out and decided to go after my dog, and then I broke the number one rule of breaking up a dog fight, which is don't use your fucking hands. And so yeah, spent a couple of nights in hospital. So that was fun, but all patched up. This is all I have to
2 stitches, you said?
2 stitches and the on the hunt for the nerves and ligaments and everything, but yeah, always fun.
I'm really pleased you're okay. I think all of us can agree, though, that if you're in that situation where you're trying to break up a dogfight, it's very hard to remember the number one rule of dogfights, because normally what your thought process is, oh my god, I need to get my dog out of danger. So I've put my hands into a dog fight before, and I've just gotten lucky that I haven't been bit. That's pretty rough and pretty scary.
What are you supposed to use? I have not heard this number one rule.
So you don't want to put your hands in any of their mouths. You go for the back legs and pull their back legs away, or grab the back of the neck and lift up.
Yeah.
But back of the legs is the golden one. Yeah, the neck runs the risk of getting your hand too close to the snappy areas. So I would say that back of legs is a better choice.
Grab them by the balls.
Most dogs in Australia are
they might come back
desexed,
on you for that one.
so there's not a lot of options there.
If they have some, then why not? But it might be a bit hard.
I would say back of the legs and drag back is the safest advice.
Yeah.
like a wheel.
Do the reveal the wheelbarrows.
Yeah, when in doubt, do the wheels barrow. Remember, that's the golden rule. You'll never forget that now. Oh my god, amazing. Yeah, look, sorry, that sucks, Ali. I'm pleased that it's not too bad, and that's awful.
Yeah.
Cora's okay too. You said she got away without even a scratch?
Yeah, both dogs
Perfect.
absolutely fine.
Okay.
He was more covered in my blood afterwards, and
She would have been wearing that with pride though. Cora's a bit of a diva with her collar and with her colourful. I know she likes the colour.
She knows the taste of blood.
Was it after midnight? Oh, is she going to be okay?
I think she'll be fine.
I think she'll be fine. You haven't fed her after midnight.
Signs yet.
Okay, keep an eye on that. Can you imagine Cora as a gremlin is a terrifying thought. She's a pretty big girl.
She's enough of a gremlin already.
Yeah, I was going to say, just she turned back into a Furby now. She's like a little tiny cavoodle.
She'd be polite and good, well-behaved girl.
Exactly. Also, well, let's do our recap. Dave, we've just lost your camera, my friend. I'll just do that.
I do. While Dave gets back onto his
That's so funny.
camera, I do have a movie recommendation.
Yes,
I'm not going to say much about it, but I saw Companion on Friday.
Companion.
I
don't know anything about this. What's it about?
It's I'm not telling you. It's one of those movies that the less you know about it, the better it is.
Okay.
But I can safely say it's one of the best movies.
I've seen trailers from this. It's got the dude from The Boys.
It does, but don't say anything because the trailer does give a lot away.
Oh, does it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll
just
just
go into it completely blind, and
Okay.
it'll be really, really good. It'll be better because we watched it, and then I was like, oh man, I turned to my partner. It's like, would have been better if we hadn't known the
right.
main
Okay.
sort of premise. If you go in completely blind, not knowing anything about it, you'll enjoy it a lot more.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I've just realized as well there's one more quick announcement I have to make, and it's because the artwork has just reminded me. Yes, you will notice brand new artwork for some of the characters playing as well. The one that was just up there that I'll bring back, I have drawn Figment and provided a proper version of Figment. Actually, let me bring the full character art version open, hey, so you can see it in full high def. This is the familiar version of Figment. Coming out of Harry's Hearthstone that I've now got up on stream. And then I have also done, I had a bit of time while I was sick, had a bit of spare time. So I've also done Flickr 2.0. Flickr was in desperate need of an update. I'm very, very pleased that I finally had some time to get Flickr. And here is the new version of Flickr. For those of you who are fans of Pokemon Infinite Fusion, you will notice that Flickr is a fused Pokemon version of Lugia and Ho-Oh that I've kind of de-evolved down into a first evolution, which I'm really stoked with. And it's good to finally have proper artwork of Flickr now. So yeah, I am very slowly but surely getting to all of the artwork updates that I promised. I'm getting there. Awesome. Let's do our recap. Let's jump into the session without any further ado. Let's do it. Let's jump in. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, is taking on the threat posed by the return of the giants. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, and Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew, have just returned to the surface after delving deep into the Underdark, taking on the threat of the stone giants under the influence of a devil and a Dwergar. After meeting with Lockie, a senior member of the guild, the team travelled via giant teleportation magic back to the Night Hall, headquarters of the Tempest Adventuring Guild. Bumping into Azure while searching for Mira, the team shared what had happened in the caverns of the Underdark with both Azure and Lockie. The team also hoped to learn more about the Heartstones from Lockie, but it seemed that the stones held by the group were acting very differently to how they were designed and supposed to function. Niles wondered if there was a way to show Lockie what he had experienced in the dreams, taking a moment to focus in on his heartstone and synchronizing his heartbeat to the pulse coming from the stone. The voice of Sindaris briefly spoke to Niles, the storm giant confused as to his current state and how the heartstone could have trapped his consciousness within. Somewhat concerned about this, Niles shared his discovery with the team and with Lockie, the latter confirming he would organize a meeting with Sinmare, daughter of the storm giant king, as soon as possible. With Mira currently in a meeting with the Oxenfurt Council and Lockie now off organising their catch-up with Sinmare, the team had some spare time to explore the city. Heading over to the Tempest Guild blacksmith, a tabaxi called Howls Under the Earth, the team traded some items they had recovered, including a Bahir skin and a mithril belt, in exchange for supplies and some enchanted items. While the party were focused on the items they had recovered, Harry slipped away and headed towards the central merchant bank of Oxenfurt. Stepping inside, he was greeted warmly by the attendants, and upon speaking a secret password, quickly taken into the vaults below to retrieve some items from his strongbox. Heading upstairs, Harry then met with Secret, a tiefling businesswoman and current head of the Oxenfurt chapter of the Thieves Guild. Sharing the details of his adventures with the Tempest Guild, it was revealed that the Silverwind family had also been engaging the Thieves Guild to source giant relics and metal for them. Meanwhile, back at the Night Hall, the group headed into Griswold's tower to meet with the gnome artificer. After introducing the new members of the team, they prepared to show Griswold the contents of their bag of holding, also seeking his advice on how to deal with their bagman. After a brief bit of chaos, resulting in the bagman being released into Griswold's extraplanar space, the situation was partially resolved and the team were free to get their items appraised. After learning a little more about Griswold and allowing him to examine the Heartstones, the team had some time on their hands to then go shopping. While Bart made his way toward the airship docks, the rest of the group reunited with Harry and made their way down toward the oceanside dock and the magic tattoo parlor they had visited previously. Lyra shared the ingredients and components they had gathered in the Underdark and excitedly began to flip through the catalogue of available tattoos with her companions. Meanwhile, Bart passed by the busy Aarakocra Messenger Guild tower, looking up as a small group of messenger birds began to dispatch what looked like a large number of paper flyers. Curious, but cautious about being spotted, Bart ducked into a small, almost hidden store, almost looking like some sort of antique nook. Meeting with the owner, a salamander-looking dragonborn called Salazar, Bart found himself walking away clutching a sealed earthenware bowl marked with wind patterns and a scroll depicting some martial art forms. And that is where we left off last session. We jump straight back in with the rest of the group. Lyra, Ember, Niles, and Harry. As the four of you flip through the tattoo catalogue, you can see the figure before you, clad in these overlapping strips of leather, bound together to form almost a full covering, only a small strip where the eyes are visible. As the figure watches you very carefully, no rise and fall of their chest, no tiny movements as they are just completely still and unmoving, their eyes unblinking as they look over you. As you begin flipping through the catalogue and examining the tattoos, you can see a myriad of designs. Ones across the chest, across the face, arms, hands, even a tattoo designed to go on the tongue. A myriad of designs and patterns. Small descriptions next to each, listing both the name and a very rough idea of what the tattoo's function is. You've had a bit of a chance to look over this document now. In-game time, 5 minutes. Out-of-game time, a week and a half. Almost 2 weeks. Are there any designs that jumped out at you that you wanted to ask a little bit more about, that you wanted to know a little bit more about? Any of the designs grab your attention?
Got a couple.
Okay, what would you like to know about?
So, I think I might just sort of ask, it's like, oh yeah, so like there's a couple sort of views sort of jumped out at me, other than sort of these, the spell focus that we were sort of talking about before. And I think it's just because I've spent a little bit too much time around the Fae lately, but just double checking the, like a tattooed spell focused on your hand, that's going to give me the ability to use, you know, it as a spell focus. It's not going to like make it so that someone else has to hold my hand to use their spells as a spell focus.
You watch as the figure sort of cocks their head curiously and nods.
It should not have any impact on others. It is a spell focus for yourself. It is attuned to your own magical nature. The casting, the tattoo itself requires that you cast a spell during the process of it being inked upon your skin to bind the tattoo to your magic.
That's cool. So that's definitely on the definitely one that I want to look at getting.
It is a rather
There's
common one. Many wizards from the Unseen University, those that know about this place, often come here to get their focus tattooed. They have duels, I believe, up on the grounds, wizard duels, and one of the methods by which you may achieve victory in combat is to disarm your opponent, remove their focus. Hard to do if it is tattooed.
And so I guess I also wanted to ask about maybe the Nature's Kiss tattoo. I think it's the ones that go on the arms, and then possibly the linking tattoo or the audible tattoo.
Ah, yes, the Nature's Kiss, a series of vine-like designs to stretch around the arm, creating these swirls of leaves and feathers. Yes, this was a tattoo that I designed based on an older druid I met in my travels. It's designed to help protect you from the elements. Yes, this is a powerful tattoo. Definitely one that could be useful. And the other one that you mentioned, remind me, sorry.
Sorry, it was the linking tattoo. It just reminded me a lot of the connection that I had with Shana, and I thought maybe it could be handy to be able to extend it to other people.
Ah, yes, the ability to speak telepathically. I myself have this tattoo. It is how we are communicating right now. A version of it, anyway.
And then I guess the last one, if it's not too long a list, is maybe the audible tattoo.
The audible tattoo.
It's just that we spent so long in a cave recently, and the number of times that we figured out that someone was sneaking up on us because we heard them coming. I mean...
Ah, yes, to go behind the ear, series of circles and harsh lines, an amplifier to allow you to perceive things that are hidden or somewhat difficult. Yes, these are all tattoos. The ingredients you have provided, the supplies you have given me, yes, absolutely, I could help with these. Or 3 might be a little difficult if you, I am low on supplies, but if you had coin to help fund, would help me replenish my stocks.
Absolutely happy to pay for anything that the materials don't cover.
Indeed. Well, having a look over, these are uncommon tattoos, except for the audible tattoo, which is a common tattoo. I could...
I think linking it was common as well.
I think it is as well.
Maybe.
Yes, linking is as well. Yeah, no, linking is as well.
That's one I wanted to. I just realized.
What was that?
I was just... I was half listening as I was looking through the tattoos myself. The linking's the one that I wanted to get to.
It's a good one.
Yes, the linking tattoo. Well, I could... the common tattoos, the items that you have brought would easily cover the cost of an uncommon tattoo and maybe 1 or 2 common tattoos, depending on their complexity and location. A common back tattoo or a common arm tattoo uses a lot of ink. I would only be able to cover 1 of those, but a neck tattoo or a head tattoo, I could do 1 uncommon and two common tattoos with the ingredients that you have brought. That would cover the cost very nicely. If you're looking for other items, I would need to unfortunately charge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the so for like the 2 common ones and then the Nature's Kiss uncommon and the Spell Focus, was that a common or an uncommon one? I can't quite remember.
The Spell Focus.
I think
that's
it
not
was
from the Tome of
uncommon?
Tattoos. That's a D&D one, isn't it? Let me pull it open. Bear with me. He's so prepared. Look at him go. Professional Dungeon Master. No. Is that a D&D one or is it from the...
I didn't think so.
Maybe I'm having a moment. Here we go. Oh man, let me try and find it. Spell Focus tattoo. I now can't find it. I believe it's a...
Buzzwords. I'm such a professional DM.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, I was already like that was 100% saying that to be.
Okay.
I knew what I was doing with that one. I believe it is an uncommon tattoo from memory, but let me have a quick look. Bear with me while I find it.
Yeah, because essentially, sort of my question is sort of how much extra gold would I need to put in to get all 4 of them?
That is a good question. Okay, so... Oh man, I still can't find it. I'll find it. It'll be here somewhere. Let me know if you find it first, and if you do, give me a yell.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was just like a made up off the top, like it was a just like a random long shot question I had a couple of sessions ago.
Oh, no. This is one of mine. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the book. This is one of my ones. Sorry. So the spellcasting tattoo focus is an uncommon tattoo, and it allows you to cast spells through your tattoo as if it was a spellcasting focus. Yeah, sorry. I'm having a complete mental breakdown tonight. You can tell that I've been sick recently. Yeah. Sorry, it's an uncommon tattoo. So you can place it on your hand. It's the same size like a neck tattoo or a face tattoo. It's a really small one. So you can have it in your hand. A lot of people like to have it across their fingers. So imagine like Freya from God of War. She's got those beautiful tattoos across her hand and fingers. Imagine something like that is kind of like the design, is how I was kind of picturing it. So normally people have it on their hands or on their fingers, sometimes up on their arm, other people across their chest, on their heart. Depends on kind of how you want to do your spell casting, but it's a very small tattoo. So yes, that would be an easy one to do. That'd be okay, so if you're looking for the uncommon and the 2 common, and what was the other one you were after as well?
So the
Linking
uncommon
tattoo.
spell focus, the Nature's Kiss uncommon, linking was common, and audible was common.
Okay, so you would be looking at an additional 350 gold pieces. Because you've got 2 uncommon.
I might have to... Yeah. Can I sort of look around and just sort of like, depending on how much extra we end up with, I might need to see if I can borrow 50 gold pieces from someone, maybe. Or I can
Do you want to
maybe
try and
I'll put
haggle?
that other
Do you want to try and haggle?
uncommon. Yeah, she's already chucking in, as in like a couple of sort of freebies I can put from the mats, but I think...
You are getting a couple of tattoos, and if there's more of you who are getting tattoos, there could be a bit of a discount if there are other people considering tattoos as well, with the gold that you've got.
Fine.
Would
Exactly.
you be willing to maybe do a group discount?
I could be persuaded to do a discount. You are already getting some tattoos covered by the ingredients and the items that you have found in the Underdark, but it is still an opportunity for me to practice, to hone my skill and to get the message out there that my business is open. My tattoos are very visible, you see. Yes, I could be persuaded. Are there any tattoos that others are looking at? You have a list here I can see, Lyra.
Is Harry here with us yet?
Harry's
Is
with
it
you.
just-
Yeah.
Harry's
Yeah.
with you.
Because Harry, there was one that I was thinking that could be cool for you. The radar tattoo. Just go back up again so I can explain it.
I can do it if you like.
Ah, yes, the radar tattoo. You can stomp your foot, and it allows you to perceive all creatures and objects within 30 feet, unless, of course, their presence is hidden from divination magic.
It's like
It
literally
just sort of
doing your
reminded me
rabbit
of
stomp
that little
echolocation
thing
thing,
that
Harry.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. If we have the funds for it, the thing about tattoos on my fur is that you don't really get to see them.
They'll still work the same.
You watch as the figure sort of turns and looks towards you and smiles, the sort of cloth covering their face and mouth moving ever so slightly.
What makes you think I could not apply it so it was visible through your fur?
Well, that sounds a bit. My fur is really soft and fluffy, and if it sees through the fur, that's a bit intimidating. Do you have any pictures of what that would look like?
No pictures, but I can demonstrate with a temporary tattoo if you would like to see for a moment what the ink looks like shining through fur.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, is that like a free sample?
Yes, I think it could be a single drop of ink to demonstrate the concept. I think we can.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a look.
May I have an arm, a hand? Maybe not the metal hand.
Yeah, no. I don't have fur in that one anyway. Harry hands her the non-metal arm, which is his left arm, I think. Anyway.
You watch as the figure reaches up and unhooks one of these large, almost like crossbow-looking devices, this large needle coming out of the top, tubes running out of it filled with this glowing, colourful liquid. And as she holds your hand very, very still...
Harry covers his eyes. Harry covers his eyes with his ears.
As you cover your eyes with your ears, you watch as Figment, crouching over the corner of you, looks over and sort of sees what's happening. The sort of almost like inscrutable mask with the lights dimming as Figment dims their vision as well, not wanting to see what's about to happen. There's a sudden prick, almost like a momentary sharp sting that goes away a moment later. And as you look at your hand, Harry, you can see almost like a drop of colour shining through your fur on the back of your hand. The skin underneath has been marked with a single dot, and the light from the tattoo almost amplifies up through the filaments of your hair, almost like the hair is now fibre optic in nature as it glows with the same light of the tattoo.
Oh, that's cool.
The light glows for a moment and then fades.
Yeah, okay. Well, if we have the funds for it, I might get one under my on the top of my arm, because that might give away my position if I'm, hiding
The
in the
radar
dark.
tattoos are put upon the feet and lower legs. In your case, Harry, just the feet would be fine. You have quite long feet.
Okay, yeah. We'll cover it and make sure it's not visible in the dark.
The tattoos do not glow all the time, only when being applied and then when being used. Otherwise, they are invisible, silent. There are two options. You may have the tattoo visible as an ink color of your choosing, or have it invisible, not seen. Only when activated does the light glow.
Does Harry have rabbit-sized shoes?
No, Rabbit. He has no shoes at all. Harry has
Okay.
So if you see his artwork, he's on bare feet. The way that the way that I kind of designed his leggings is that they sort of curve around and lock just underneath the heel because it's extended back for the rabbit part. He's got almost like an armored, like a pauldron style, like a scale mill pauldron that sort of claps around his feet and up his thighs, but it doesn't go down onto his feet. He's got bare feet.
He helps me feel the ground so I can walk on uneven surfaces. If we have the funds, I'd be super into it. But you seem really into it, Lyra, so you have the priority.
And if I may, if it helps with the negotiations, I was looking at this particular one that might be able to help empower some of my kicking. Actually, the Spearton tattoo looks pretty good.
The which one? Sorry.
It's basically a riff of the This Is Sparta kick from 300, but I think in the book it's called a Spearton. It's Spyrtan. It's a leg tattoo.
Ah, yes, the Spartan tattoo. yeah. The Spearton tattoo.
Ah, yes, another leg tattoo. Yes, this one resembles lines crossing across the lower calf, forming a base underneath the heel. Yes. Ah, this could be interesting. An uncommon tattoo, but it allows you to do a large, powerful unarmed strike. The force contained within the tattoo released all at once.
I feel like it could give me an edge in combat.
Indeed, yes.
Only if it's not too much trouble. I don't want to put any more stress on the budgets thus far, but I'm sure we have enough.
Well, this the Spearton tattoo. How do we want to pronounce it? Alex, Spearton tattoo. That's good. You've said that already.
Spearton.
The Spearton tattoo. Yes, this one would cost about 400 gold pieces, but because it is uncommon and takes up a large portion of the leg.
That's true.
But because you are looking to purchase, we have a 350 gold tattoo, a 400 tattoo, and Harry, your tattoo for delving would only cost 40 gold pieces. I think what we can do is, if we combine the prices, we could do 750 for all three.
I look over at Lyra and Harry. Do you think that's good? Do we have enough for that?
I've got 300 on me.
I've got 350 on me.
650. I need 100 more.
You got 100 on you?
Got 100. You got 100 gold pieces on you?
Let me check.
Or do you have anything you might be able to trade with?
I don't have anything I could trade.
Yeah, I might have to sign up at the at the guild to actually get some income. I haven't come across any money for a bit.
Oh yes.
Harry would have had money that he could have taken out from the.
He's not a guild member there.
In the interest,
I'm in the wrong character sheet. Give me a second, sir. I'm looking at my
I don't know if he did.
I think because I was just going to say, Harry, I was having a quick peek at your inventory, and I think because you haven't brought it across to your new character sheet, you've currently got 0 gold on your new one. But you just need to bring it across.
I was also looking at Harry the Stone Giant.
Oh yeah, right.
Doesn't have any money.
Yeah,
what?
that'll do it.
You're a Stone Giant.
Yeah.
Oh,
because you would definitely have money, Harry.
I'm sure.
We sold the mithril belt, did we?
Well, we're getting it like fenced.
It's being used.
Oh yeah. It's ready. It's ready. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have that bag of gold. Is that counted? No, you dropped that off.
No, because I was going to say otherwise, all of our gold and everything's just been going into the communal pot. So I think we can drip into whatever we can.
Yeah.
Harry,
no,
you've got 60. You've got 60 gold. Plus, you've also got a bag of mixed gemstones. I'm just looking like this.
What are you seeing?
Just look down the bottom of your. Just look down the bottom of your other possessions.
I believe the mixed gemstones were. Niles also wrote them down, and I think he sold them since.
Only 2 of them would have been used for the.
Only 2 of them.
Only 2 of them would have been used for the braces
so
of
we have
defense.
Yeah.
So we have 6 gemstones.
Yeah.
100 each.
Yep.
Yeah.
And where are you seeing the 60 gold?
Above that, above the eyes of Minute
it's written 60 gold. Okay, yep, I see.
Yeah.
I might. Yeah, okay. I'm not.
So what I might do is, if it's
what I'm going to do,
I'm going to take off that
Probably
60, Harry, and I'm going to add it to your actual gold because you do have a place that you can record gold. I'm going to record that there.
The big gold symbol.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. And then you've also got the gemstones that you can, if you wanted to gamble with one of the gemstones or try and barter with that.
Would one of these cover
And as you
the gap?
reach in and pull out a beautiful sapphire, you watch as the figure's eyes, as Inkspren's eyes go wide.
Ooh.
As they reach out, slowly place their hands, the glove being pulled off, revealing this very bioluminescent blue skin glowing with these dots of white light. Heavily.
I think this is sorry.
No, you go.
Yeah, I think this is worth 130 gold.
You watch as the figure, Inkspren reaches out, takes the sapphire in her webbed fingers, examines it, moving it between her hands.
Maybe not quite 130, but I like the color.
What about extra Inkspren? I might have something for you. Might be. Give me a moment, and I'll look into the bag of holding, and I'll produce the candle of the deep.
Ah, very nice. As you pull open the candle of the deep, you guys have never you've never lighted the candle. You've never lit the candle.
I like it.
You watch as she sort of turns, looks over, and nods, and goes,
The black wax, the wick. I have seen one of these before. An obscura candle, a candle of the deep in your tongue.
Yes.
I would be willing to trade this for the tattoos, and if you would also part with this beautiful sapphire, I would consider maybe one more smaller, uncommon tattoo. If there was anything Ember, your Firbolg friend, was interested in.
My body's a temple. I do not know if I want to.
Oh wow! Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's
No,
cool.
fair enough.
I think he flicked through the book and he didn't really want any of those common tattoos or the uncommon ones. He'd be trying to get something suitable.
Live it.
So it's not that your body's a temple, you're just like too
Exactly right. Tate.
Yeah.
Pulling out for the high-end tats.
That's it.
Oh, I'm actually kind of a big deal.
I want to get the full like chest piece. Yeah. You know.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the rare and legendary tattoos are fucking sick. So
Oh my god. Yes. So he's saving himself for a better tattoo.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
totally.
Oh, that is fair, that is fair. I understand that the marking your skin permanently like this can be daunting. But it does give you gifts. Like this.
And you watch as she begins to roll up her sleeve.
you watch as her, this blue skin, counter-shaded, dark blue on top, this light blue underneath, marked by these points of bioluminescent light, taking on these swirls and patterns. And as she pulls the sleeve back, you watch as a fin slowly pulls out from underneath the skin, branching out, and you can see these lines of bioluminescence swirl together and form what almost looks like this maelstrom of white light around her arm. And as she clenches her fist, you watch as water springs up from the tattoo, binding around until it forms this gorgeous long sword made of water. And as she swirls her hand, it reforms and takes on the shape of a giant trident, and then takes on the shape of a large shield, and then spins back into her arm again, the water fading away as she pulls the sleeve down.
Why aren't you full of surprises? You've been holding out on us.
So cool.
It was the first tattoo I learned, but I have yet to be able to repeat it.
Intriguing.
Did you have a teacher when you were learning, or is it sort of something that you figured out as you went?
I had a teacher long ago, yes. It is probably more correct to say we were colleagues. Unpicking the mysteries of this together, experimenting. This was the result of our most successful experiment, shall we say. Unfortunately, my colleague, they are not around anymore. It's just me.
I'm sorry to
Sorry to hear that.
It is okay. It has been a very long time. And while time does not remove the pain, it does somewhat dull it, I must say.
I hear that.
Well, let us make a list of the tattoos that you require, and then I think we shall get started. So, we have the linking tattoo. So, Lyra, you're getting a linking tattoo. Let me write these out. So Lyra's
I'm
getting
just typing it out.
Yep, Lyra's getting the linking tattoo. I'll
That'd
add
be
these to D&D Beyond and your character sheets.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome, that'd be great.
So, linking tattoo for Lyra. Harry is getting the what was the
Either the radar tattoo or
Radar tattoo.
or the nimble jar.
Yeah, so because I mean even though sorry, not the nimble inkling tattoo, the nimble, which was that, sorry, Harry? The
JARGE.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Increase
Because
many
30 feet isn't actually that big for the radar tattoo.
It's not huge.
But 3 times a day is all right. It would be more to find hidden objects that aren't hidden with magic.
So
Because
the nimble,
if an enemy is within 30 feet of you, you're already in trouble.
potentially, yeah.
Good point.
Invisible.
Advantage on sleight of hand checks isn't too bad. That's not too bad.
Invisible, but that's on. Is that divination magic?
Yes.
No.
No, sorry. Invisibility is not. Sorry.
No, so you'd see invisible creatures.
Oh,
That's cool. That actually would be pretty
within 30
cool.
feet. And 3 times a day is not bad. Yeah, you know what? I'll go for radar.
Okay, so Harry's going to get the radar tattoo.
I'll get reliable talent for the stuff later anyway.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Niles, what did you want to go for?
The Spearton.
Spearton tattoo. Oh, and sorry, there was 2 more you were getting, Lyra. You're really getting tattooed up. What were the other ones you were getting?
Tatted up.
Classic Druid.
Linking Audible, Spell Focus, and Nature's Kiss.
Whoa.
So that's why I'm happy to chuck in.
Yeah, so you will
300
be...
and maybe borrow the 50.
Yeah, so you'll definitely be chucking in... So for this, with all of the tattoos... This is amazing, you guys getting so many tattoos. With all of the tattoos that you're getting done, if you hand over the Candle of the Deep and the Sapphire, you will only need to pay 200 more. And I do feel like it'd be fair for Lyra to cover that. The Candle of the Deep's not worth nothing.
Can Harry do an insight check to see if that's a fair price?
Yeah, for sure.
With his business acumen, that's a dirty 20.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. I will say, because chat were asking, I saw Jay asked, did someone say apprenticeship? There is, as part of this module we're using, the magic tattoos, there is a class, Magic Tattoo Artist, which has a whole bunch of features. If anyone did want to multi-class into it, you're more than welcome to. If you want to spend some time with Inkspren and learn how to be a magic tattoo artist, you definitely could. It's
It's got some pretty cool abilities. You can temporarily apply tattoos, take tattoos away, swap them out. It's pretty cool.
It's a little bit like the Artificer in that regard as well.
It's almost like a subclass of Artificer. Yeah, it plays a lot like an Artificer. Harry,
Artificer.
Dirty 20. It's hard to know what these magic tattoos are worth. You've dealt in magic items before. It seems like these are worth similar prices to magic items in certain markets, which makes a lot of sense. These are essentially a magic item applied to your skin. You get the sense that you are getting a pretty fair price for all of these things. The Candle of the Deep seems to be worth a bit more than you might have thought. You get the sense that the Sapphire... Inksprin's interested in the Sapphire, not for what it is, but for the color of it, the beauty of the gemstone. It is a cut and polished gemstone. You don't think they're taking it for the value of the gemstone. They're taking it because they want it. But the Candle of the Deep, oh yeah, the Candle of the Deep is theirs. They're going to sell that fucking thing, and you think they're going to get a pretty good price for it. So yeah, it's a fair price. If you wanted to try and haggle, Harry, your business acumen, your knowledge of how magic items move through black markets and underground businesses, shall we say, you think you could probably give it a go, but it's not going to be a huge difference. You're certainly not being fleeced. I'll put it that way.
So do you have any business cards?
Business cards? No, this is not something I have thought to do. But it is clever, marking a symbol upon a piece of paper, passed to others, a piece of cards. I should have thought of this.
Especially if some of your tattoo art. Niles, you've designed and distributed business cards before, eh?
Oh, well, yes, I have indeed.
Is it a process that a service we could offer to get a discount on some of our tattoos? We could distribute it for you in our travels.
Well, of course, I have the means. I'm sure we could organise some through the guild as well. Whatever design you would like. And I pull out like the Tempest Guild business card and also my personal monogrammed feather, which I now look at and I'm like, I might have to update this actually.
We're walking billboards after all.
We could look into helping you with some production here in some distribution along with yourself for distribution for a bit more of a discount if that's something you're interested in.
I was considering maybe training an apprentice, opening up another location, the docks of Oxenford. I have been here for some time, but many people find it hard to locate my store here.
So we could draw a little map on the back of the card.
Indeed. I was potentially looking at moving to a new location, somewhere more central, more easily accessible. And I have filled all the walls here with designs. There is no more room for me to draw in between clients. I do love to draw. I will consider this, especially if...
Sorry. You did mention an apprentice. Are you currently looking for someone? Or?
I would be curious. Your talk of the deep dwarfs, the Dwargar, people I have trained in the past. It has been some time. I would be ready to train another apprentice. Yes, I think it has been long enough. Has slipped my mind. I do not have someone in mind specifically, if that is what you are asking. But Lyra, you have shown keen eye and interest in this area before, if you were so curious. I think you have the attention to detail.
Definitely something I'm going to keep in mind, that's for sure. And I was just thinking, is maybe as like a bit of a stopgap. Sorry, you mentioned the foot traffic for your shop. I was even just thinking I
think people are distracted by the bakery. I did not know there was a bakery there. You pointed it out to me last time when I was last downstairs. It was, I think it was a hairdresser's or a barber's. Now it is a bakery, but it is very busy and people do not see my little door.
Really, really popular. And with that huge line as well, they're always so focused on like the last display cabinet. But I was thinking maybe I can ask the guild if they've sort of got any unused rooms, because I was thinking either just for the sort of the sketching, the client getting sort of process. At the bare minimum, I know there's probably going to be a few people from our guild that's definitely going to be wanting to come here and get some tattoos, but
That's right. We do have all sorts of travelers and adventurers that pass through the guild halls on official and unofficial business. I'm sure an aspiring adventurer might want to see into your services while they're there.
This guild you are a part of, the Tempest. Where
the
are
Tempest Guild. Yeah,
yes, I see you on this card. You are located at the Night Hall. Oh, the old
pretty
building.
central location.
Ah.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's always growing, the building. So it's sort of, maybe it could be feasible to have sort of your own little sketching studio space like in there until you can sort of find like the perfect place if you wanted to set up another shop. Or...
There's many eclectic members of the guild there. I'm sure you'd get along well with all of them. I'm sure Azura would be happy to have you.
I will think on this. This could be what I need. Change of scenery, somewhere more central. And obviously, as you are well traveled, you could find materials for me, maybe even inspirations for new designs.
Well, I gesture at the materials we dropped off. This is what we found. Well, this is what Lyra found on her travels.
This is what people found for us.
I'm sure wherever we will go next, I'm sure we will find other materials such as this if you desire it.
I will consider this. Lyra and Niles, would you two, either one of you with advantage or one of you, or both of you, could you roll me persuasion checks, please?
No, my persuasion's not great. Actually, no, it's better than I thought. It's a +3.
Lyra will help Niles by sort of also saying it's like, and you wouldn't even have to be tied to the guild as like an exclusive works person or anything. We've got actually a blacksmith that works in association with the guild, Howls, and they're not part technically of the guild, but we do such a lot of work together. So if it's like an independence thing, you don't have to worry about that either.
Can I persuade as well? I missed that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Niles is rolling with advantage because you guys are helping. So you can if you want to, but I think you probably want to take the 17 that Niles just rolled. 17, 12? We'll take the 17. You watch his figure sort of slowly nods, considering. I will think on this. I tend not to go out during the day. The sunlight hurts my eyes, but maybe tonight I will have a wander up to the Night Hall and have a look. Maybe have an investigation, see if it suits my needs.
We could also make accommodations for you if there's things that you require. I'm sure Azur I'm sure Azur could accommodate you.
Thank you.
Even just having a chat with Howl. She's usually in her forge out the front of the guild, but maybe she could be a good one to talk to about, craftsperson to craftsperson.
I have to be careful near forges. The heat dries me, but if it is nighttime and the forge has cooled, I could maybe speak to this Howls.
And, I said accommodating before. Professor Griswold would probably also be able to sort anything out that you might need as well. He's pretty well versed in the arcane ways, and he might be able to set you up somewhere, climate controlled and nice and cool for you. But we'll give you time to think.
I will think on this and maybe have a look at the Night Hall tonight when the temperature has dropped and the air is cool. Yes,
excellent.
I will think on this. For now, though, we need to mark your skin. For those of you getting tattoos, you will need to take a seat on the chairs here. I will get to your tattoos right away.
How exciting. Then stood over on the seat.
So as Harry, Lyra, and Niles all get down on the seats, there's 4 seats arranged around the central pillar. Embers, there's the 3 of them get down and get ready to mark themselves. Did you want to stick around and watch? Did you want to head off and maybe check out the markets, do something else? It's up to you. You've got full freedom. You can stick around and watch if you like.
I'm more than happy to stick around and watch, actually. I'm now wondering how sanitary this is all looking. And I mean, are they going to be using the same needle across all this? I'm not sure how it works, so I'm really interested.
Do you want to make me a perception, investigation, or I would even argue if you're looking for something else, I would also allow a nature check as well.
Everyone's here like getting super excited to support the business, and you're like, is this guy health and safety marked?
I'm just a little bit jealous that like they're getting their tattoos. The one I saw, I was like, oh no, I can't get that right now. So I'm just trying to look for flaws in everything else.
13 Ember. The good news is there's no shared needles. Each of the chairs has its own sort of like tattoo gun. Is the best way to kind of describe it. On the apparatus above it, the massive central tube filled with all these tiny vials of ink that's constantly spinning and moving, mechanical arms reaching down, lifting them up and refilling. You can see that every time a vial is used, it's turned upside down, the ink is drained out, and then it's refilled at the bottom. This is a very sterile, very professional setup. Very, very different mechanical kind of setup than what you've seen before. And it all is very silent. There's no clicking, there's no whirring, just the occasional gentle sloshing of the fluids inside the glass, the occasional tink as the glass tends to like knock against things. But the mechanical side of things, unlike a lot of the clockwork you've seen before, it is completely silent. And as you examine what's sort of happening, I mean, this does seem to be, very, very, very nice setup. You have spotted one flaw though. This massive mechanical device in the center of the room, this massive like tattoo, like inkwell chairs and marking, like, this is going to weigh fucking ton. And to move this up to the Night Hall, it's not going to be easy. As you're examining this very delicate apparatus, you've already noticed one flaw, which is this is not going to be very easy to move. This is... whoever's going to be stuck with this job, you pity them.
And I'm definitely not the strength that comes to the in the party as well. So not going to stick around with that. But look, I might stay and watch for a little bit. If it's going to take a while, I'll probably duck out. There was maybe a weapon or something I wanted to find, but depends on how long this all takes.
It's going to take about an hour to do all of these tattoos. There's a lot of tattoos being done. Lyra's getting 4 tattoos. So like, so just to confirm, Lyra's getting a tattoo on her neck, on her forehead, like on her temple, on her arms, and also one on her hand. Yeah, Lyra's getting inked.
You're going to get tattoos, you've got to get ones you're showing all the time, right? I mean, got to commit
that's the
to
question.
It, so.
That was the next question I was going to ask everyone. You've got options here. So the ink that's been chosen, you can choose a certain color. You can choose if it's always visible or if it's only visible when it's activated. And you can choose the bioluminescent glow that it takes on as well. Do you reckon you want to have the tattoos always visible? If so, I'll update some of your character art. Ali, you probably don't need all of the tattoos visible on Lyra because we'd be drawing a lot on Lyra's face.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe tomorrow or over the weekend of
have a look at
pulling it up and having a bit of a play.
The neck one,
especially for the neck,
could be cool.
Yeah.
The hand one, I think the spellcasting focus we should.
Definitely, and the Nature's Kiss, because I've sort of got this idea of like an Eladrin kind of themed seasonal kind of thing. Because in the they've sort of got the 4 elements in the.
You and I think the same way because I already was describing it differently to how it appears because I was already on the same wavelength as you. This as soon as I was like, oh, it's an Eladrin getting the season's kids. It's going to be like the 4 elements, but in like this like how it affects like a tree. So it's like the autumnal leaves at the top. Yeah, I already knew what you were going for with this. I was already on board. Nice.
Yeah.
Like the vines of summer and spring grasping around the lower arm, then becoming like the dead leaves and vines of autumn, and then the bare thorns of winter. Yeah. You and I are on the same page with that one.
Not sure if it's an option to have it always on, but just with an option to like, a little mute mode, like, with your watch when you're at the cinema and you put it on cinema mode so you don't like, flashlights or whatever. Like
oh, you can choose if they're always glowing, if they're not, if they're always visible, if they're not. You've got that choice.
That's great. I love that.
Because I really like the always visible, and glowing, but I've just got this image of just being like we're all sneaking through like another dark cave and just lighting up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. I think in terms of like having it be able to dull, I would say that you can kind of like channel the magic and pull the magic back to mute it a bit, but that's definitely going to be an always visible for sure.
Kind of like the phone screens, when they're in bright, they glow brighter and
exactly.
Yeah,
I can do something like that.
Harry would like to mine an illusion, a chair for Figment to be lying on as well, as if Figment was getting a tattoo as well.
Actually, yeah. So as the smoky form of Figment with that kind of like mechanical, almost it's like this sort of white metal mask in place as Inkspren comes and begins tattooing your lower legs, Harry, with the spiraling lines. You watch as across Figment's smoky form, the lower part that sort of merges back into your heartstone, you can see these matching almost like white points of light forming the same mark as Figment watches very closely and copies the design onto his own form.
Perfect.
Let's jump back with Bart. Bart, as you step out from inside Salazar's Emporium, having spent a little bit of time going through this random antique shop hidden away in the upper portion of the airship docks and market district, as you step back out, the sun has definitely set over the horizon. The orange glow of sunset lighting up the western part of the city down towards the ocean, the cool dark of twilight emerging from the east, sweeping across the sky. It's a cool, crisp night in Oxenfurt, and you can see the lights of the city slowly beginning to come on. A mixture of oil lanterns, torches, and occasionally magical enchanted lights. These almost like crystals glowing with warm light, mounted into metal brackets of electrum and gold. You are in a more rich part of the city, and as you look up towards the airship docks, which are these massive mechanical platforms raised above a lot of the houses, you can see these large red and green lights, massive gemstones glowing with this very bright light, marking the landing bays for the airships to dock at, as you see a massive brig detach from a gangplank and begin to take off into the sky. Looks like it's heading towards the north, laden with goods. And you can see a number of people rushing across the deck, throwing lines and ropes as they get ready to depart into the night for an overnight trip. Probably hauling, goods and items north, you think. The Aarakocra Messenger Guild Tower, a few hundred meters just in front of you at this stage. The lights are beginning to open up, and you can see the lower platforms being closed up, only the upper platforms kept open during the night. You watch as the shift begins to change. A number of Aarakocra stepping out through the front doors, no longer dressed in uniforms, no longer marked with their sash or with their postman's bag, instead looking like they're clocking off for the night, making their way down towards the taverns and various other locations as the Owlin begin to move in and take over the night shift.
Taking in all of the sort of beauty around him, Bartle, stop for a moment. It's been so much chaos in the Underdark. This walk through the streets was exactly for this, to sort of relax a bit. Enjoy Oxenfurt. It's been memories here, I guess, would be coming and going of him with his father and him with his mum, coming through the city streets. He's
spending
an
afternoon with Alphonse, sort of just running around.
Yeah. Playing with the other kids and running through the streets with my siblings. I'm gonna, as I go to step away, stop for a second and just, I do need to make some money. 1 second. I'm gonna duck back quickly into Salazar's store, opening the door, and call in, do you buy things as well, Salazar?
You watch as the salamander figure turns, the smoke sort of billowing between their teeth.
You are back. Yes, I buy, of course, if it is interesting to me. Yes.
Excellent. The item itself is mundane, but I'm hoping, as you told me with some of these items, the story might make it worth it for you. I'm going to pull out the, I guess, broken off chunk of an obsidian war axe that we got from the front doors of Blindenstone. And with a bit of performance, I'll start off. A story of realms, twisted and dark, almost labyrinthian. One soul most foul-stomped, all others around it, the obsidian. He hid his true intent from friend or foe. What a Stygian. And I'll continue on with telling a bit of a story around Obsidian Foot and basically what occurred, but I'll forego any of the names. The battles we sort of undertook and where we found this hammer, what happened to Blindenstone, the Behir, the snakes that overwhelmed the Behir, grandiose it up as much as possible. It is obsidian, so it's already worth a little bit, but I'm hoping that I might be able to make a bit to fund whatever I need, if possible. But I would like to tell him the rest of that story and hopefully upsell it.
Could you make me... Oh god, there's my voice. We did it, everybody. Could you please make me... I told you it would happen if I had to do a deep voice. Could you please make me a persuasion check as I try and get my voice back?
100%. 100%.
This is a great character. Oh no, it's worse. Okay, well this is how I'm going to sound for the rest of tonight.
A good roll.
22.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice.
Very, very nice. Let me have a quick look. I'm just trying to remember if I wrote down a value for this fragment of... Let me just check my notes.
I don't think I got one at the time. We did know that obsidian was fairly valuable.
Yeah.
Not incredibly, but worth more than just rock.
No, I don't think I told you at the time because there wouldn't have been any way for you to know that.
Nah, it was just meant to be like something we found left over, but I'm just thinking now it's not useful to me. I don't need to use it anymore to scry for obsidian foot, so this guy likes cool stories and I kind of respected him a bit, so I want to give back to the store if possible, and if I can make some cash...
Yeah.
Absolutely. You tell us a good tale. And it is true, the story is what makes the item beautiful to me, what makes it interesting, what makes it desirable. Your story is good, and I have remembered. Salazar has the story memorized, in verse no less. Salazar will pay for the obsidian, for the item, 100 gold pieces, but for the story, Salazar will pay 400 gold pieces.
Thank you, Salazar.
It is good, and there will be many who, when I tell this tale again, will purchase for, let us say, somewhat more than 400 gold pieces.
Smart man, smart. I hope to see you in the future.
I am always here. I live here, I work here, and being so close to the airship docks gives me access to many traders and curios that come and pass through this realm.
Salazar, it's lovely meeting you. Be careful of the theocracy. We're very close to them.
I love that you're just sharing this information with just people. It's great.
I wanted it to be secret, but I feel bad for him. Look, I don't have high wisdom. I've never had high wisdom. I'm just a soft little boy that my power is love. Like, that's the whole thing about Bartholomew.
That's fair. That's fair.
I instantly just came from this spot.
He watches Salazar sort of cocks his head a little bit confused and goes,
I do not deal much with the theocracy. They tend not to sell their items of value or ancestral things, and the Owlin and Aarakocra here do not tend to buy things that are heavy.
It's fine. I just meant because you're close to the messenger tower. I'm gonna go. It was lovely meeting you. Sorry. Bye.
Farewell.
As you
close the door and leave.
Yeah, as you close the door and leave, you hear a very faint rustling as a feathered arm goes around your shoulder, and you hear, "I hear you're talking shit about the theocracy, mate." No, none of that happens.
I want to start making my way back towards where everyone else was, but I did have a plan on the way. Actually, seeing the lampposts is what sprung the plan.
This can only be good.
The Electrum that was making up their design, having a short rest and actually sort of recuperating a bit of my power, I'm going to do something that I've done quite a lot, converting my inner spirit, very similar to, I guess, like ki and energy with Niles, into potent magical aura, and I'm going to convert a channel divinity into a second level spell slot. And I'm going to use the second level spell slot for a locate object. And I would like the object to be Electrum armor.
Oh, okay. What's the range on locate object? I believe it's a mile, isn't it?
Yeah, which in the city is going to be
most of the city.
Let me just double check for you.
You're pretty central, like you're right in the very middle of the of the airship docks.
Oh,
This is
actually, it is only, I'm not sure how far it is mile-wise, but 1,000 feet. I'm not sure what that converts to.
I need that in meters because I don't know what I need metric.
In meters,
I'm good with like small bits of feet. 304 meters.
1,000 feet is 25 meters, so not overly far in the grand scheme of
1,000
things.
feet.
It'll probably be
1,000
like
feet's definitely 305 meters.
Oh, am I doing them? I just googled.
Did you do foot
okay, well,
to meter?
300 roughly meters. That'll be what, a couple blocks, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's more than that. That's a decent chunk. Like that'll cover most of the docks, the Aarakocra and Guild for sure. It'll go a bit further than that even.
And yeah, for 10 minutes, I'll just have that active as I walk back to everyone, just in case it pings.
As you begin making your way back through the city streets, Bart, the divine sense that you have called upon the magic to sense this Electrum armor, that you've seen, that I think you've even handled as well. You are very familiar with this item, the design and the make of the giant metal. It's not quite Electrum, but the alloy is very similar. So I know what you were asking about, which is the giant alloy metal. It is very similar to Electrum in the way that it functions and how it appears. As you focus, begin channeling out. At first, there is no response, no sudden activation of your magic, no connection to this item. But as you continue walking through the streets, making your way down towards the docks, for a moment, you feel the sudden ping, this direction. Now you know the direction and the distance as well with locate object, don't you?
I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
I know its direction. I don't know the distance.
So the distance. You know the direction though. Straight above you, for a moment, something is close enough to your sphere of sense, this magical sensory input all around you. Something is close enough to it that it triggers it, high above, right at the very limits of where you can sense. And as you glance up through the night sky, could I please get a perception check?
Walk me. 11.
The starlight shining from above, the groups of nebula, and clouds of beautiful astral dust that surround the world of Nostea are all you see above you. Brilliant night sky. The twin moons are now rising high in the sky, the much larger Phoebe eclipsing her sister Melody as they begin tracking across the sky. There is get no sense of anything high above, but your magic knows better than your eyes in this moment, Bart. Above you, somewhere in the night sky, a set of that armor is moving quickly.
I was going to say, yeah, if there's no obvious sign of a vessel above me, a skyship of some kind, first thoughts is probably this is, going to be a sole individual. Okay, I guess they've already got it handed out. That's not good. And they're not even at the Theocracy. They've got people roaming in Oxenfurt. Okay, I need to head to everyone else. I'll, best of my ability, try to make my way to the direction of like Ingspren's shop, and on the way just ask sort of civilians if anyone knows directions, and just try to get there pretty quickly, as I did want to possibly try to get a tattoo as well with some of that money if there's time.
If you were after, my voice is back, thank fucking God. If you're after the linking tattoo, it's only like 30 gold. That's not a problem.
Yeah, mine was more so that worrying about like the time, because then obviously these things may be taking. I thought the tattoos might be like a couple hours, but that's actually quicker than I thought.
Quick.
Yeah, the two ones. Yeah. I had. I guess arriving to the store, seeing. I'm happy to getting
as you get to the store, you can see Ember's sort of like standing at the top of the stairs, watching on, tapping his feet on his shoulder. Flicker's kind of looking around. Flicker seems very, very much more high definition than last time you saw Flicker, Bart. You know what's going on there. No. And on the seats, you can see Harry's tattoo is all finished. Harry, as you stomp your feet for a moment, these spiraling designs light up around your legs before fading away invisible. Niles, did you decide how you wanted your tattoo?
Was there anything hidden under the ground? Under the, like, anywhere, like behind the walls?
Yeah, there is, Harry. I thought I could get away with that really quickly. Just say it as an aside, and then Harry, as you activate your radar tattoo, just to test it out, just to see how it's working. You know it's nighttime. You know you'll be resting up soon. As you activate the tattoo and feel that pulse of energy, Harry, underneath that machinery, it's not just sitting on the floor. It's built into the floor. And it stretches below it, and underneath there are, to your senses, a larger structure hidden beneath this massive tattoo apparatus. And it's deliberately hidden.
What does this structure resemble? Because they were just used from this, right?
What was that, sorry?
I mean, like, what does this look like underneath that's hidden? Like, is it looking like it's tapping into something that the top is misleading?
So when to your eyes, it's sort of like you get like an echolocation kind of outline of it. Do you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of fucking like Daredevil when he does his like echolocation sense. It's kind of like that. Like you're sort of seeing this echolocation. Yeah, the structure appears to be a continuation of the apparatus that's in the room above. A cylindrical object below the floor. That stretches out with what look almost like these like tendrils of like a dark metal moving through the floor underneath, like roots of a tree almost.
Yeah. If you are going to move shop, that's going to be a bit tough to move. It goes in pretty deep.
As you say that, you watch as Bart steps into the room, having like run up the stairs. But the room, I've described to the others, but just to refresh your memory, it's completely dark inside until you close the door behind you. And then in the darkness of the room, the walls light up with this intricate paint, these beautiful painted, intricate designs of corals, of fish, showing this undersea landscape, this underwater landscape stretching up towards the top floor, changing from a very low depth where you are to this much like almost like an upper reef level high above. Every inch of the walls is covered in these spiraling patterns of corals, of fish, of underwater life. And as you step into the room, you see a figure, clad in full, like overlapping plates of leather almost, just their eyes visible and a slit in the center. Harry stomping his feet as these patterns of spiraling light begin to light up around his legs. Niles just with the single one on one foot, just on his right.
To answer your question, I don't think I want mine visible unless it's being used.
Fair enough. And Lyra still getting inked. Like Lyra, she starts with you, then does Harry's, then does your other one, gives you a bit of a chance to rest, goes back to Niles, and there's 2 more of yours. She's just finishing up the linking tattoo on the side of your head. But none of her tattoos are invisible at the moment. All of them are visible. Lyra she's got a tattoo down her neck, on her arms, on her hand, and on her like temple as well. She's fully inked. Next to you, Ember is just sort of shaking his head as he looks across at Lyra. Just judgment written all across his Firbolg face.
Ember, you're not going to... I thought you were all collecting pieces to meet this Inkspren. You're not joining in?
No. Unfortunately, I think the piece that I want will take a bit too much time, and I think it's also quite expensive. I think everyone else needs to get theirs done first. So I was maybe going to venture off and look for some other things potentially to pick up instead.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. We can have Ember while you've been out looking for stuff. We can have you come back at the same time. Let's jump with you then really quickly, and then we'll reconvene the timelines as you sort of arrive back at Inkspren right as Bart gets back. As you head down towards the dockside markets, Ember, you can see there are all manner of things on sale here. The markets are busy and packed, even in this sort of early evening, late afternoon. The market district never stops. There are like rows and rows of stalls. The meme that you made was very funny, Matt. Did you actually make that?
Yeah.
I thought so.
I did.
It's very good. He's for those who can't see, which is everyone. Matt's just made a quick meme from Attack on Titan. Where who are the characters? I don't know the characters.
It's Owen and Aaron.
Yeah, I'm talking to Aaron going, "Beware the theocracy." Aaron going, "Huh? I'm sorry. That was a strange thing to say." It's good. Very funny.
I'll put it in the Discord later.
It works so well.
It's a great format. When you said that, I was like, that's like the Attack on Titan meme. That's great.
I like that a lot.
Perfect.
Ember, loads of food in stalls as well as other items as well. You can see that down towards the lower docks, a group of Maloran orcs have set up a stall. armor, weapons, shields on display. There's a Fletcher's, a crossbow and arrow specialist, crossbow and bow specialist with arrows on display, with a few targets set up demonstrating some bows. The bows are very strange, very these various spiral-like designs. Look like they've been grown rather than harvested, set up and displayed along the edge of the dock section. But as you have a bit of a look around, you can see there's all sorts of things on sale at the market. What kind of things are you looking for?
Look, I was essentially looking for one particular weapon, which, in the uncommon at least, to see if it might be there, which is a moon sickle, potentially, if they might have had one floating around somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I was also going to look for some powders, pretty much smoke powder. That's what I was after.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Dust of disappearance, potentially, if that might be something that's around.
Okay. The Moonsickle, best person to talk to is probably going to be Howls. You know you've got a blacksmith who works for the guild. If you're after a specifically made item, Howls are probably the best person to go to for the Moonsickle. So and I'm just saying best person because it'll be cheaper if you go through the Tempest Guild blacksmith. In terms of the magic items, smoke powder and dust of disappearance, your best bet's going to be looking for an artificer or an alchemist. And as you have a bit of a look around the docks, you can see there is an alchemist set up, not in the stalls themselves, off the main stall marketplace district, along the esplanade that runs along the very middle of the docks and over towards the northwestern portion. You can see there is an alchemist that is set up, a large bag, a sign in the shape of a bag out the front with fireworks constantly exploding out the top of it every few seconds. These little tiny illusionary fireworks exploding then vanishing to try and draw in attention. No noise, thank God. That would be very annoying to live underneath. But the visuals, you can see above the shop is clearly accommodation and apartments where people live. And your first thought is it would suck to live there as these little tiny fireworks go off every few seconds right underneath the main window to this apartment building. But as you head on over and look inside, you can see quite a roomy workshop. Rows and rows of shelves, each with jars, little labels underneath, all behind locked cabinets. Nothing is out for people to touch or for people to examine. And you can see sitting up at a desk, flicking through what looks like a series of bound papyrus inside a leather, almost like a scroll case kind of setup, is a gnome. She looks to be in her probably 30s, maybe early 40s at the very latest, if she was a human. Hair is this lavender, slicked back, shaved on one side and slicked back over the other, forming this curl around her left ear. Eyebrows, that same kind of violet lavender color. And you can see she has these very bright, piercing green eyes. And as you step inside the store, she looks up, nods, has a look over at the shelves, nods towards them and goes back to her book, not really paying you much attention beyond that.
Fantastic. Well, knowing that no one's looking at me, I'm going to go up, check out the powders, see if they do have any of that smoke powder maybe sitting around, labelled, not labelled. What do they have around there?
As you have a bit of a look around, smoke powder is indeed labelled. You can see that there are a number of other concoctions and variations of it. There's a few different versions, some designed for use with fireworks, some designed for use with... so you can see there's a whole shelf basically of different variations of smoke powder. A few of them designed to smoke really heavily to create an obscuring region, some designed to explode with a loud bang, and they're all bound in these little tiny leather satchels. What kind of thing are you looking for?
Something for obscuring. So, to tell you as the DM what I'm after, I was thinking, while I've got some downtime.
Yeah, Batman smoke color.
I can make lovely little glass little files. I'm thinking making some glass grenades with smoke that I can throw at people. So, you
don't even need to use glass if you don't want to. These are already packaged up in little tiny bags that you can throw. It's already good to go.
Fantastic. I'm going to be giving that to Flicker, and he's going to be wearing it and dropping little bombs as we go along.
Fantastic. As you sort of look over, you can see, there's, if you wanted to get a little, there's essentially, you can buy them as individual pellets, or you can get a packet of 5. The price next to the packet of 5 is only 6 gold pieces.
Fantastic. I will be doing, do you know what? I believe last time you said that we collected some of our payments for being part of the guild, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
How much was that exactly? Because I think I wrote something down, but it also felt like a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. Okay.
Let me pull it open. Sorry, I have to go back on my notes.
For the newbies, I remember it being like 150, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was 150 or 120. I couldn't remember exactly what it was.
It was
but
150. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, I remember it was 150. I was going to say
Has
that off the
Ember
top of my
been
head.
there longer, however, than Niles and Bart?
Not that much longer.
I don't believe so, but yeah.
You
Great,
signed on at
I'll
the
grab.
same time as Harry. Well, no, sorry, you didn't sign at the same time as Harry. You joined the team at the same time as Harry, but you signed on as the same time as Bart. Yeah, you got 150 gold to spend, plus whatever else you got on you.
I don't know the timeline. I just feel new compared to everyone.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm just going to be grabbing some of those smoke pellets, and I'll probably grab 10, so that way I've got a few going around. And if there's any other kind of
gold,
interesting,
you have 10.
destructive.
Yeah,
stuff.
what was the other dust you were after? You said there was a dust you were looking for as well.
Dust of disappearance. So
Yes.
something that might.
DM
Make us
quickly pull
all,
open his guide to magical items and their costs. Alrighty. Okay, dust of disappearance. Here we are. Okay. Dust of disappearance. When you utilize a action to throw the dust into the air, you and each creature and object within 10 foot originating from you have the invisible condition for 2d4 minutes. Nice. Yeah. These are a little bit more expensive. So you can see on the shelf, along with a few other dusts, it looks like they are mostly arranged in alphabetical order. Right next to the dust of disappearance is a vial of dust of deliciousness, a small vial of glass with what looks like a cupcake stopper, a cupcake-shaped stopper on top. The dust of disappearance next to it is a glass vial with these almost like angel-like wings around it, almost like a fairy kind of design built into the glass. And as you look, you can see that the price of the dust of disappearance is 200 gold pieces.
Yeah, no, that's very expensive for my taste. I want to hold off to see if I can get that weapon. So,
Do you want
I'm just gonna.
to talk to the gnome? Maybe you can get a cheaper price. You can talk to her. There's always options to barter.
Look, no, because I think
Fair
between that and my little gems that I picked up from the gnomes, I want to try and see if I can afford that sickle down the line. So let's just pick that up for the moment.
You head on over, slam down the 12 golds, point at the smoke powder, you watch as the gnome nods, grunts, holds out her hand and summons a mage hand that flies on over this, like basically like an animated white glove appears in the air before you, flies on over to the cabinet, unlocks it, reaches in, grabs two of the packets, drops them into your hand, locks the cupboard, flies back and disappears. You watch as the gnome nods and goes, "Yeah, just want to say thanks, mate. Nice and quick. Yeah, you can come back anytime."
All that efficiency.
I like that. You didn't ask any stupid questions. You didn't ask for any samples. I appreciate that.
I know what I'm looking for. Not the first time I've done this, so
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. With that, I'm just going to head straight back out the door. I'm keen to go check out, talk to the blacksmith later.
Perfect. Rather perfectly, as you make your way back across the main esplanade, you bump into Bart. Bart's heading for Inkspren. You know that your friend's going to be heading back to the Night Hall, which is where How's the blacksmith is located. You head upstairs. The timelines reconverge. Everything's back as it should be. As you see Lyra getting her last tattoo in place.
I will, having a flick through the book, and I'm guessing, like, us talking, I'll get them to give me, like, a rundown of, like, Inkspren and what's happened so far. I'm assuming they'd tell me about, like, him wanting to possibly come to the Tempest Guild and whatnot. As I'm flicking through the book, looking at ones, Inkspren, from what my companions told me, you're possibly looking for an apprentice?
Yes, I was considering having somebody to learn. It has been some time since I taught my skills, and I did mean to spend more time on this. It has slipped my mind.
No, out of curiosity. Oh, I like the look of that one. I know a artist, jeweler more than tattooist, but artist nonetheless that needs a new form of income, and their people would love to have more marketing connections. I know that you obviously want an apprentice and a chance at Underdark materials. They're called Gook, a Swift Nerblin from Blindenstone.
I have not trained a Svertniblin before, but I have trained a Dwergar, and they were very nimble with their fingers, quick to learn. If these Svertniblin are the same, this Gook would make a fine apprentice. Yes, a fine apprentice indeed.
From what I know, Deep Gnomes, Swift Nerblin, are actually better with their hands than Duragar.
And you said
Obviously,
this
I
one
know
is
that-
trained as a jeweler. That would be
Yes.
ideal. An artistic mind, yet a hand for a practicality. Yes, that would be very good.
I know that obviously the Underdark and Blindenstone may be a travel from here, but sweeten the honeypot a little. If you were to subcontract with the guild, I know that they have teleportation circles that could bring you right to Blindenstone.
It has been an age since I was in the Underdark. I would consider traveling there again. The ability to teleport would certainly speed up the time of travel. Yes, if this Skook is interested in learning, I could go to them or they could come to me in the Night Hall. I too prefer the dark. I imagine like the Dwerga, they would not be working in the light of the sun. No, they would be in the dark.
Yeah, correct.
I
Similar to
understand.
yourself, they have necessities.
I too prefer the muted dark. The sun up here it's very bright. It's harsh. You are very brave to walk underneath its red glare.
Do I recognize from the little bits that I see what the hell Inkspren is?
Can I get a nature check, please?
Oh, yeah, this is the first time you've looked.
Yeah, it's the first time you've seen Inkspren.
A 16.
16. As you look across the figure, Bart, again, there's not a lot that you can see. At the moment, you can only see the slit in the leather that shows the eyes, the little bit of skin around them. The eyes are glowing, proper glowing with bioluminescent glow, this sort of bluey green, almost like an aqua color. And you notice that the color around the eye, the iris itself, as you gaze a little bit longer, you can see it's actually changing and swirling. The patterns and color of light inside the eye are shifting, almost moving like waves, very, very slowly as they spiral and shift. The skin around is this very sort of dark midnight blue, but with these patterns of greens, lighter blues, crisscrossing, forming almost like this algal kind of bloom coloration, and dotted with these points of bioluminescent light, this white blue light, bioluminescent light. With 16, but you're definitely getting the vibe this is some sort of creature from somewhat similar to maybe like a Triton or a water ganassi. You're definitely getting aquatic kind of vibes from the creature itself. You've never seen or heard of anything like this before, but it does seem to be aquatic. The other thing you notice that the others took a while to notice, but you notice straight away, their mouth is not moving underneath the covering. And you're hearing this telepathically. All of this conversation is happening not out loud, but in your head. It is being transmitted to you.
Yeah. No, I have no clue. I was hoping that maybe with Eris being on the coast, maybe some sort of a close connection, but
This
okay.
is not a well-known creature.
Yeah. No, my mind first went to a Triton or because it sounds very almost octopus-esque, and I have no knowledge of that, or like any sort of humanoid races.
Your
yeah, no,
knowledge
cool.
outside of this game will not help you with this creature.
Yeah, okay, I figured. No, this is exciting. I like new things. No, perfect. I'll
This is like the Flesh Sculptor. I like to have new races where I can. This is a lot like the Flesh Sculptor, whereas the Flesh Sculptor is kind of based on the Threign. This is something different.
I'll pull two of the parchment designs. These ones, please. One for the it was the linking, right? That's the same one as Lyra.
Yep, the linking.
One for the linking, and the other one for trying to hopefully connect closer to whatever happened to me as a child and whatever is being done to the royal children. The Paladin's tattoo.
I wondered if you might go for that.
Yeah.
So, both of those, I would like both of them. I've got the notes for this already, but just so you know, in a royal blue,
Easy.
which is sort of like a slightly lighter blue. And I do want it showing through the feathers, and I do want it permanently visible in that royal blue across my white feathers as a bit of an homage to Satine, so that I can hopefully show her one day. Blue is, as Satine is based off of a boa bird, her favorite color.
Blue. So the Paladin's tattoo is almost like a crest or a shield, like a royal crest, a shield-like royal crest underneath the chin on the neck. If you want it on the back of the neck, you could do that too, but I think
I want it
pretty sick.
Nice and visible, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then the linking tattoo is just a series of almost like a tiny Celtic knot across the temple, whichever side you'd like. So for the Paladin's tattoo and for the linking tattoo, the total would only be 375.
625. I will try to talk him down a little.
Talk her down a bit.
Talk her down.
Talk her down. Yeah, you don't know the gender actually. I've been using a voice, but it's hard to say.
I'm not sure if it equates to this, but obviously with the feathers, I wouldn't need the entire skin tattooed, just the follicles, and that way the color would transfer to the feathers. Is there any chance maybe you can use less ink?
Unfortunately, the tattoo itself must be complete. The design on the skin shines through the feathers. Your friend, the Harrengon, Harry, you can see that his feathers transmit the light, but it is the skin that holds the tattoo. Unfortunately, I would need to use as much ink as possible. If anything, it is harder to get through the feathers to mark the skin more effectively. But your friends have already gifted me with interesting gemstone and this candle, which I very much like. 375 is a fair price.
Would you like to make me a persuasion check, please, Bart, as you try and haggle?
Yeah. And no chance of like a bulk order for a 18?
18.
Well, we have done a few tattoos tonight, and you have offered me an interesting proposal with the Tempest Guild at the Night Hall. Lyra.
I was just going to say, if it helps, I can't remember if I've given this to you already. I don't think I have, but so for the rest of the time that, while we're sort of all exploring through the Underdark, there was sort of a few times where sort of Lyra did go off to sort of try and find various mushroom samples and stuff. If she hasn't already given them to Ingspren, she's like, would any of these help at all?
Oh, yeah.
You did specifically say you were handing over the package given to you by the Dwarf guy.
I got the package.
Yeah, so this is different. Yeah, so I would say you haven't discussed this with her, and I wondered if you were going to talk about the mushroom samples, and because you didn't mention it, I assumed that you'd probably given them with them, but you're right, it is a separate thing. I
completely forgot until Dave mentioned reading his item sheet on his characters. I'm like, wait.
It is handy. It does come in handy checking the character sheets every so often. I can recommend. As you hand over the mushroom samples, Lyra, because you roll me a D100.
Actually,
100.
I believe.
Pretty.
We're going to see how many of these are useful. Okay. It's a 10.
It almost happened again.
Oh, no.
You watch as Ingspren kind of nods, examining the items.
Some of these could be useful. I might be able to find a use for these. These other specimens I have not yet had a chance to experiment with, but I will try. Thank you for these as well, Lyra. With this in mind, and given that you have purchased a number of tattoos, and the possibility of working with the Night Hall, I would be willing to take off another 25 gold pieces. Would 350 be appropriate?
That sounds fine. Does he have hands, or are they tentacles?
Hands with gloves, and you watch as you hold out the gold, Ingspren removes one of the gloves, and you can see these very, very, again, like that counter-shaded dark blue on the top.
No. I'll shake on it first before I hand over the gold.
Okay. As you touch Ingspren's hand, Ingspren is not super keen on just like grabbing your hand, but it kind of sounds like you're not really waiting very much for it. You're just going straight for the handshake. Yeah. As you grasp the hand of Ingspren, you can feel their skin is cool to the touch, not warm, but very cool to the touch. You can feel this kind of rubbery texture to the surface of it. Not slick and slimy, but there is like a moisture to it. And it is, this kind of rubbery texture as you shake the hand. As you do so, you watch as Ingspren kind of cocks their head a little bit, looking at you, as their eyes flash for a moment. And then as they take their hand back, you can see, these webbed fingers, very heavily webbed fingers, swirls of bioluminescence and counter-shaded skin, light on the underside, dark on the top. So this is something marine creatures have. When they're swimming, they want to be dark on top, so they blend in with the ocean underneath for predators looking down from above or prey looking down from above. And when you're looking up, the light color underneath so that they blend in with the ocean surface above. It's a very, very, you see it in mostly predators in the ocean. Yeah. Unless you're an orca, in which case you don't give a shit because you're just so good anyway. You're an apex predator, you don't care about counter shading. But yeah, very, very like rubbery skin, very similar to that of a dolphin or another sea mammal.
Locking in the deal and feeling a bond there with the handshake. Leave the gold on the counter and grab a seat next to Figment.
Now, Lyra and Bart are getting the most. Oh no, Niles is also getting. Are you getting 1 or 2 tattoos? Just 1 tattoo.
Just 1.
Okay.
But I imagine it's probably it's a big tattoo. It's a leg tattoo. Is it on both legs?
That's a good point. All of you are getting big tattoos. Hey Ember, this is where you get to have a bit of fun. Harry, Lyra, Niles, and Bart. Could I please get Constitution saving throws from all of you? I want to see how well you take being tattooed. Lyra, yours is with disadvantage. You're getting 4 tattoos, 2 of them on your face and neck.
Wait. How big is that tattoo shop?
How big is the shop?
Small and cramped?
Yeah, not cramped, but it is, imagine like a sort of like 10 meters a room by like 8 meters. So it's like, it's
would
pretty
everyone
large.
be within my aura range?
Everyone would be within your aura range for sure, because you're seated down on top of it. But you haven't been there for all of their other tattoos. You're the last person, so you're the only person who gets to benefit from your aura, Bart.
Sure.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried, guys.
Harry, that's a 16. You take it like a champ. Lyra, 12 and 14, which means we're taking the 12. Niles, that's a 17, taking it like a champ. Is that a 9 for Bart?
It does have a +4 because mine doesn't do it automatically. Is a 13 different?
13's a little bit different. Lyra, for the first tattoo, Inkspren starts with the smallest tattoo first, the linking tattoo on your temple. You bite back the tears. It stings and it hurts a bit. And you kind of watch on as you see a few tears kind of spring to Lyra's eyes, but she does a good job kind of stopping them flowing. That is until the neck tattoo starts, and then you watch as Lyra's like wincing and a few tears coming out, and then Inkspren moves on to the hand and the arm. It's getting worse. You can see Lyra's like biting down, really trying to keep back the tears and trying to stop herself crying out. Harry's stoic as all fuck. Harry doesn't move an inch, just sits there, takes the tattoo. Niles is somewhat the same. But who you were kind of expecting, this big, strong, tough Owlin. Can owls cry?
No,
I don't.
Fuck. What was that? Have you? Oh, you haven't started. I'm sorry.
I was just adjusting the needle. I haven't started it yet.
I'm sorry. You touched my skin. It was cold. I thought it was the pain. Okay. Hoot.
I've got a question. Can owls
You just
cry?
hoot through this. You hoot through this, Bart. Hoot.
Question. I think owls would be able to. Owls would have like a tear film, but I wonder if they can, like, if they have enough. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, and their tears, it's the same chemical composition as human tears. That's crazy. There you go. So yeah, you watched on Ember as Bart for the first like 2 or 3 minutes really isn't very brave, and then for the next 20 minutes just cries. Just
yeah.
Tears sort of mashing up the feathers. You can see tear stains on the white feathers, like these like brown tears.
Good, Niles.
You want to hold my talent?
Oh, this hurts so fucking much.
I need you to be very still for this. Sorry, I am doing this right near your face and eye. If you could try to limit the tears. I do have a tattoo
like the
that
tank of our
goes
party.
around the eye. Oh, the tank. Yes.
Which is Inkspren just carries on, not really saying much more than that.
I could put him to sleep if it helps.
Don't kill him, Niles.
No.
I think at like one point I'll like pass out for a second and
It's okay. It's okay, Bart. You'll be fine.
By the time Inkspren finishes all your tattoos, you can tell that it's starting to get a little bit later, that night has well and truly fallen. As Inkspren detaches the little tattoos, begins placing them in these, what looks almost like a little beaker of liquid, not water, because it's got this kind of faint, almost like this yellowish tinge to it. And as soon as the needles go in, you can see bubbles begin springing up from the tips of the needles as whatever this liquid is begins to eat away at, let's be honest, the bits of skin and blood from your bodies that are still attached to the outside of the needles. as this acid bath begins to clean them. And as Inkspren, you can see Inkspren peels off the gloves, places them on the counter, stretches, and then reaches up and detaches a section of the leather that covers the lower part of their chin and face, pulling back the head. You can see where a mouth would be is smooth skin. The nose is in place, but it is squashed and slitted, almost more decorative than anything else. There's no breaks in the mouth. Along the neck, just visible underneath the collar, you can see gills rising up. Around them, hidden by the leather but now revealed, are these what look almost like glass coverings filled with water that flows around the back of the suit, covering the gills in this constant layer of liquid. And you can see these large eyes in the middle. There's another set underneath that are closed that open up.
Whoa.
That's so cool.
That's fucking sick.
And as the hood goes back, these long flowing like tendrils, almost like very fine tentacles, like an anemone's tentacles, begin to sway and move and rise up and wriggle around as Inkspren turns and cracks. You can see the neck kind of cracks in position. And then as they look towards you, they sort of pause for a moment and go, apologies. Some are not used to this, but...
You're beautiful.
Apologies for what? You've been holding out on us. You look cool as hell.
That's amazing.
Thank you. It is getting rather stuffy. I have been in my suit for a bit too long and we have gone later. You must excuse me. I need to go and change the water. And, have a swim.
Please, have a swim, yes. By all means.
Sorry for keeping you so long.
No, it was good. These tattoos are, if I say, some of my finest work, and I think should do what you need, and more, hopefully. And remember, if there's ever anything you need, you'll know where to find me. And maybe, once I've had a swim and cooled off, washed off the sweat of this work, I can examine the night hall. Maybe we will be closer neighbors.
Well, we are heading there after this, so you're more than welcome to come with us if it's night now, unless anyone else wanted to do anything while we're in the
I
city.
have no more bookings for today. If you are willing to wait for 5-10 minutes, wander around the markets, I can have a quick swim, change my suit, and replenish the water, reoxygenate it, and I will be good to go.
Yeah, we'll just get some food. I'm hungry.
I was wanting to still head to the Unseen University.
Oh, yes. Well, we needed to talk to Professor Grell, right? Yes.
What time is it?
You don't know. You get the sense that it's heading into evening, though. You've been here for a bit.
But it's not like sort of midnight,
Oh, no.
everything's all shut down,
No. It'd be like sort of 6-7 o'clock.
Well, in that case, then, Inkspren, maybe take a bit of a longer swim, get adjusted, get comfortable. We do have some. Bart is correct. We do have some business in the Unseen University, and we are probably a little bit hungry after that little bit of a session there. Perhaps we'll grab a bite to eat, go to the university, and then we'll come back and we can go together if you like.
That would be good. I could do with a nice swim.
Excellent.
If it is a nice night out, that would be nice. Yes, that would be good. We'll meet back here in an hour or so? Or do you want to meet at the night hall? My understanding is the night hall is quite close to the university, no?
Oh, well, in that case, maybe we'll meet at the night hall then, unless...
Happy to meet you at the night hall. Not a problem.
Sounds good.
Is Oxenfurt very safe?
That is a good question. But your experience of Oxenfurt and what you would know is that it is pretty safe, especially in the inner city. Harry.
I was waiting for that.
You would know that Oxenfurt can be safe. Yeah.
Especially during the day.
Yeah. Depending on where you are. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can wait here with Inkspren, and we can meet you at the hall when universities are like not really my thing anyway.
Okay, we shouldn't be there too long anyway. We're just simply reporting Davian and then meeting all of you again.
Yeah, no, I'll keep an eye on Inkspren and we'll walk down there together.
Did you want me to get something on the way for you to eat, Harry?
Oh, I'll just quickly grab something now while they are taking a wash, and I'll come back in here.
Oh, okay.
That's all right with
I
you.
will be heading down to the water's edge to swim.
Oh yeah, well I'll grab something on the way.
Not to sort of sorry, Inksprit. I think this is a little bit of a they're worried about you walking around after dark. So, although seeing the your sword tattoo and shield, and knowing that you've sort of spent a bit of time in the Underdark and everything, are you a capable fighter?
I prefer not to fight, but I have defended myself when the time has come. But I prefer not to take lives, and a feature of my biology. You watch as she runs her hands through one of the tendrils, pulls out one that's much longer, and then reaches up and presses it against the metal, and you watch as a tiny jolt of lightning moves from the tendril onto the metal and arcs itself onto the tattoo as she slowly puts the tendril back, tucks it away into the hair follicles again. This can pack a nasty punch for organics.
Oh my! Wow.
I just brought it up just as I wasn't sure if you wanted privacy on your swim, or if
What happens if someone else is swimming nearby?
Oh, I am in control of it. You could touch it now and it would not sting you. It is.
Harry touches
it.
As you reach up and touch, Harry, it feels, this sort of rubbery. Her hair is a bit slimy. There's a layer of this very fine kind of like mucus over the surface of it. Thick tendrils compared to hair, but like very, very fine tendrils compared to like tentacles. Very like anemone-like strands, a bit rubbery and a bit stretchy. And as you pull on one of the strands, it sort of lengthens a little bit and then slowly retracts back towards the head. It doesn't sting you. There's no sting.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, no, I'll stay with Inksprit and we'll meet you back at the night hall.
Okay. As long as that's okay with Inksprit.
That is fine with me. I do
It's
not
all
mind
right.
the
It's all right. I'm not going to rob them.
I wasn't worried before.
I think that's worth insight checking.
That's not even meta. That's just like.
Can I also? That was like a huge ass favor.
Harry, do you need to do a deception check, or is this more of a persuasion check?
I was just joking around. They're
You don't roll anything.
they can insight they want. Well, I'll let you know what they find out by what they roll.
That's 23.
23 for Niles, 14 for Lyra. Lyra, Harry's just kidding.
Yeah.
23 Niles. Harry's joking. Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, but
it's-
the best jokes are the best truths are hidden in jokes.
And it's. I mean, Harry's definitely joking, but also, as Dave said, the best truths are hidden behind a mask. Or the best lies are hidden behind a mask of truth. That joke is the same. Like,
Yeah, there are places he stayed that he's robbed from before.
and there will be times in the future where he will do so again. Like, it's very obvious.
But not this time.
Yeah.
I give you like a bit of a side eye. Like,
And what's a side eye look like from an owl? Is it just?
Yeah, you can't turn your eyes, so it's just your head. You just sort of
just 180 on the spot.
Harry, sorry, I had to step away for a second. Have we started leaving yet?
We're about to.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Harry grabbed the anemone hair and then joked about I won't rob her. It's just been that, dealing with that fallout. Perfect. As Harry sticks around with Inkspren, Lyra, Ember, Bart, and Niles, the four of you make your way outside the front door. Moving through, you have to move through the outer section of the market to get back to the esplanade that leads onto the main thoroughfare up towards the upper part of the main city, which is where the university and the night hall are located. If you wanted to move through the market stalls, look for some food, there's loads of things. Christian.
Before, as we reach the street level, I'm at the point now that I'm not hiding things around my family from the other party members, but purely worried around who's watching after that gaze from above. A very bad feeling for an avian creature that there's someone hunting you from higher ground. It's not fun. I am going to use my linking tattoo to link with Niles for the first time.
Oh, Cool.
A glow from in the dark as we sort of step out into the darkness as I guess the street from Inkspren's shop. Testing. Is this working?
Just before, I think a lot of these need attunement before we can use them.
The process of them being tattooed allows you to attune. That's I'm happy to,
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
I replied back, but telepathically, I guess.
So you can create. It's a telepathic link. You can create it, and you can speak telepathically as long as you remain within 120 feet.
Yeah, it doesn't say it's got a time limit as long as we're within this range of each other. Just testing out the tattoo that I got, but there is something important. You've got much better eyes than me, at least better focus on things. When I was coming to you guys, I decided to use some of my Paladin aura. I was trying to feel for if you're so I'm still learning. Is Nyx your cousin, or what's your relation?
She's a cousin.
I thought so. I'm not sure if it was her or just at least one of the members of their coup. I tried searching for Electrum armor. Some merchant city. I thought maybe they might be trading some. At this point, I'll still be trying to casually walk to the food with Amber and Lyra. I felt a ping above me, just a singular. There was no air vessels traveling. I didn't see any cargo ships heading off in any directions. My only guess is that possibly a scout, maybe someone reporting back to the Messenger Guild tower at the docks here in Nostea. I don't know, but it was directly above me. I'm not sure if they were watching me or not, but can you keep your eyes out?
Of course. And with that, I kind of reply back. Perhaps, if you haven't already, I would perhaps put a hood up around your face.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I was a bit too free, I guess, enjoying the surface world again.
No, that's understandable. I probably should have thought of this before we left the guild hall.
Yeah. I don't want to hide this from the others, but I'm also worried that if someone is watching us, who knows if they're even listening at the moment. So I figured this might be safest.
No, that's fair enough. Niles will also do a perception check as we are moving through the city. With that knowledge, put hood up.
This is a decent conversation. Ember and Lyra, you just watch as Niles and Bart go silent for a moment, walking with you, and just look at each other, nodding every so often. Looking around.
I'm really enjoying the city.
You watch as Bart touches his forelock, touches the tattoo, it lights up for a second, then vanishes. Yeah, they're talking telepathically. It's pretty obvious.
I look over at Lyra and go, "Oh, these work." And I kind of do an eye glance at Bart.
Yeah, but they're having a private conversation again. The fucking birds. Fucking birds are talking to themselves again.
Birds, man. Brothers. So it's a perception check. I will roll.
What were you going to say, Ember?
That's not too bad.
I was going to say I look at Flicker and we communicate telepathically and be like, we've been doing this the whole time.
Yeah, there's a sense of as Flicker kind of connects with you, Ember, there's a sense of you get a sense of disdain coming from Flicker as Flicker looks over at the two birds, looks back at you. There's a sense of superiority there. Flicker knows out of all the telepathic birds here, Flicker's the best.
I know. Niles would fight that. He'd be like, "Yeah, you're pretty good."
Yeah.
I'm also thinking to Flicker telepathically being like, look, if they don't react so badly to the tattoos as well, we could have got that matching tattoo each. But no, I mean, seeing Bart go through it, I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. Ember, while you're sort of looking at Flicker, sharing that connection with Flicker, you've had your resonance with your fire giant. Eladrin is your fire giant, I believe. Let me have a quick peek through. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could I get you to make me I'm going to say this is more of a wisdom check. So if you wanted to do it as an insight or a...
I was going to say straight wisdom if you want me to.
Yeah, do the straight wisdom. 9. Okay. Yeah, it's all good. No, nothing to worry about.
No, everything's fine, yeah.
Yeah, sense of superiority. Flicker's the best bird. Nothing more to say. Bird, dinosaur thing. Yeah. Best Pokemon. Yeah. Niles, 19 on the perception check. As you kind of hear this message from Bart, Bart's been walking around very much exposed, and Bart hasn't shared where he was when this happened, but like it does kind of occur to you that there is an Aarakocra Messenger Guild Tower, an Eris Messenger Guild Tower in the very center of the city, not too far from where the Night Hall is located. And the last time you saw Bart, he was heading off vaguely in that direction. And it kind of occurs to you that Bart's been wandering around out in the open, just like an Owlin without wings. And an Owlin as big as Bart kind of stands out a bit. Like a snowy Owlin, like no wing, massive. Like Bart stands out. And it does kind of occur to you that potentially there might be the wrong attention having been brought to Bart. And it's with this kind of context as you look around. There are a few Owlin flying through the night sky, moving to and from the tower. You can see them, even though you can only catch glimpses of them. They're silhouettes against the starlight above, flying on silent wings, moving rapidly through the night sky. You do catch a few Owlin. You can make out the straps of their Messenger Guild bags as well. There's not a lot of Owlin that work the night shifts, but enough that it's not unusual to see shapes flying around in the sky. But then you spy, just for a moment, an Owlin flying much, much higher. A tiny shape, high above. Just for a moment, you catch a glimpse of this silhouette against the night sky. And right as you see that movement and try and hone in on it, vanishes from view.
Okay.
But high above you, hundreds of meters up in the air, you do think you can see a figure.
With my innate knowledge of the theocracy, Owlin's cruising altitude speeds for Owlin, is that
slow?
Like
Owls are slow. Owls are the slowest flying birds, except if they're in a dive. But like, this is one of the things that people pointed out with J.K. Rowling being a terrible person. The fact that wizards used owls in Harry Potter is so cruel because A, they're nocturnal, and B, they're also the slowest flying birds. And they also generally don't fly long distance. They stick to very small territories that they... So it's like, out of all the birds you could pick, it's like picking a fucking penguin. Like, you've got to be a dick to be like, we're going to have messenger birds that are going to be owls. Fuck them.
Penguin Messenger Guild.
Yeah.
So
a penguin Aarakocra is such a funny idea, and I think I'm gonna have to do that now.
I think you're gonna have to do that.
Can you imagine like a barbarian penguin Aarakocra? That'd be the coolest.
That's actually fucking sick. I love that idea. That's great.
That'd be some fun artwork.
No, I guess more like at that height. Is that like a normal? Like, is that like a normal?
It's pretty high. Like it's pretty high. Owlin do often, especially if you're flying long distances, it is well known that the higher up you can go, the less wind resistance there is, so the further you can fly. But there are obviously limits to how high that you can fly without then suffering from hypoxia, like due to lack of oxygen around you. So, but it is a common thing to get a little bit of altitude. Because you have to exert yourself to get high enough, and then you kind of just glide and move so much further on a lot less energy. But that is unusual.
I mean, but at that speed, is that something that an Owlin could accomplish on like an air current like that, or would it be a different type of flying creature?
Yeah, no. An Owlin, like it's definitely not unheard of. Similar to how large birds of prey would catch a thermal to go really, really high and then travel very, very long distances. Owlin, it's not unusual to try and catch a thermal in the afternoon, especially if you know you're going to do a big flight overnight, travel across to like Chiari, for example. You might catch a thermal in the afternoon, go really, really high, and then just cruise out over the ocean for the rest of the way on this. But it's unusual this late at night above the city for an Owlin, especially an Owlin messenger. If this is an Owlin messenger and they're just hovering over the city looking down, that is unusual. That's very unusual.
Yeah, but we're in unusual times. Niles doesn't like that. I sort of reply back to Bart in my mind. I feel like our friends in the theocracy might know that you're here, unfortunately. Not necessarily a bad thing, but something we should be prepared for.
Maybe we should try to lose their gaze at some point and then attempt to not regain it.
I suspect that I think the damage is done. I think I saw a messenger just leaving the city at a high altitude. on a thermal like that, I'll be back in the aristocracy in probably a day or two, even less. I think our best bets would be just to reconvene at the Night Hall and plan our next steps. Somewhere unexpected, I think, would be good.
What do you feel like to eat?
Yes, actually.
The market stalls are bustling and busy. There are, as the afternoon winds down into the evening, you can see a number of the stalls closing, and in their place, food stalls being set up, especially along the docks. There's a number of ships come in, trade ships coming in for the evening and locking off. You can see the sailors marching off the boat, heading into the town to enjoy a night ashore. Food, drink, the various comforts that a city can offer that the ocean cannot. Various meats on offer. You can see an Australian version of a kebab, essentially a flatbread with meat that the flatbread sort of wraps up and holds, almost like similar to like a shawarma more than a kebab, I would say. Anything you can imagine as street food. You can see there are dumplings, various flavors of dumplings from the elemental states, the ganassi dumplings, beautifully color-coded, green, red, white, and blue, just to make it really, really obvious which.
One cockatrice karage, please.
Cockatrice karage. Cockatrice as a food source might be tricky, but you could definitely get chicken karage. There would be deep fried chicken for sure. What would be the closest culture to Japan? Probably the ganassi. They're sort of like a mixture of the. I've sort of got them as kind of like a mixture of kind of like Asian and the sort of like Eastern parts of the Mediterranean and Middle East, kind of like a merged culture of that. So yeah, I would say that you could probably find, for sure, find like chicken karage, fried chicken, deep fried and battered, available at the market stalls.
Can I follow my nose? Like, just sort of, have a bit of a sniff around, like, sometimes like you're in like a food area and it's just there's like one that's just like, that's absolutely the one to be going for. Like,
let's let the dice decide. Could I have a D100? Let me pull open my random roll table. Let's see what you get. Okay.
I was hoping.
Yeah, 34. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Let's have a little look. See. Okay. Lyra. A scent, subtle at first, but slowly comes to dominate all others around you. It's a pungent odor, this sort of fruit-like smell, but almost like a rotten kind of, pungent fruit odor begins to kind of pervade all other. It takes over from the other smells. And as you look over towards your right, you can see a market stall with a number of fruits on display. Some familiar to you, apples, bananas, dragon fruit, some unfamiliar, a very large, almost like elongated purple-like fruit covered in jagged spikes. But in the very center, with a sign proclaiming the king of all fruits, you can see this large, green, spiky, circular kind of fruit, about the size of a head, just sitting. And you watch as the store owner pulls out a machete and cuts it open, and that smell intensifies again. You can see people crowding around, kind of like covering their nose as they get close. There's a few stalls nearby where people are eating it with these little like wooden, almost like a wooden spork, kind of like a spoon fork hybrid, just digging in and eating it, not letting it touch their skin, and not eating a lot of it, just eating little bits of it. And you can see the store owner, who is this, very like very tanned, very and there's, there are dogs in the street going crazy for the smell. This very like strong, like sort of rotten fruit smell pervading. And this very tanned gentleman cutting in and serving the fruit, smiling and laughing as people kind of have, and you can see there's a mixture of reactions. A number of people enjoying it immensely, a couple of people kind of like looking a bit uncomfortable, one person like kind of fanning themselves as if there's like a bit of a heat to it. Yeah, you don't know what's going on there, but that's the most obvious thing that your nose leads you to. Probably the reason that Lyra's drawn to it is it's like rotting fruit, fungus. It's your favorite thing, right? Fungus avoiding fruit.
Delicious.
She's absolutely going for that.
For those playing along at home, this is durian, which Simon had for the first time in Singapore.
What did you think, Si?
Amazing. It was great. No, I had a small amount. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was.
It was.
It was a fruit.
I quite like durian. I've had it a couple of times before, so I quite like it. But
I've never had it myself, but I hear it's like a little bit addictive. Like once you've had it, you're kind of like, I kind of could go it again.
I don't know if I've ever felt like a compulsion to have it. I don't mind the flavor, and I quite like the texture's it's like a custard apple kind of texture, which I quite like in a fruit. I don't mind that.
Interesting.
As we're shopping for food and eventually making our way to the Unseen University, I would like to be humming the entire time some songs that my probably mother once did, so maybe a bit reminiscent for Niles of like their theocracy. And just try to make the walk through the lamps and the sort of marketplace of foods a bit more relaxing for everyone. And I would like to use the musician feat if I can.
Oh, wow.
So I'm guessing at the purpose of a short rest as we're doing this walk and eventually making our way to the Unseen University, just humming the entire time after that brief 5-minute conversation for the rest of the journey. Enjoying everyone's company, coming in on conversations here and there. But yeah, 3 allies, so I don't think I can give it to myself, but that's fine because I wanted to give it to all of them anyway. But an encouraging song with the musician, I can give up to 3 allies heroic inspiration. Niles, Ember, and Lyra, some just free inspiration as we enjoy a nice night and some dinner before we make our way to the uni.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Harry, if you wanted to get some durian, I know Dave, you love durian. If you wanted to get some durian, you can as well. Harry would be able to smell that from a fucking mile off.
Lara picks up some durian for Harry, remembering that we said that we'd pick him up some food.
Oh, you did say you pick him up some food. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Lara, you can get a whole durian for 2 silver. Take it with you. We don't need to roleplay. The owner is very happy. The stall owner is very happy to sell you some durian. Asks if you've had it before. Have you had this before?
No, I smelled it on the way past. I mean,
don't let it touch your skin.
Interesting.
Just be careful. Don't let it touch your skin, and have some water on hand.
Why shouldn't we let it touch the skin? I mean, isn't the inside of your mouth also skin?
That smell. That's pungent odor that you're enjoying. Would you like your skin to smell like that for a couple of days?
No.
There you go.
Warning received. Thank you.
Enjoy. Easy. As you head on off with your 2 durians. You can take a couple of the wooden sporks with you too, so make sure you don't poke them or so you got a way to eat them without touching them. Perfect. As you guys make your way towards the Unseen University, we'll jump back with Harry and Inkspren really quickly. Harry, as 2 of you head down towards the docks, Inkspren covers themselves back up again, tucking their hair away underneath the leather before they head down to the water. And as they dive on in, you watch as the strips of leather suit begin to float to the surface, and underneath the water, soft blue glow begins to light up underneath the water, where Inkspren is currently, you get the sense, undressing under the water and floating around in the bay around the docks. The water here is actually surprisingly clean. The way that the Oxenfurt Bay kind of is set up, a strong tide pushes through north to south, cleans out a lot of the junk that might end up from ships or boats in the bay. And because it's not a very large, sort of really set in bay like the Melbourne Harbour, for example, Botany Bay in Sydney as well, it's much cleaner, much more fresh water. And you can see with the light emanating from Inkspren below the water, you can see fish swimming about in large schools along the edge of the docks, as well as some squid starting to move up towards the surface of the water in the light. These little tiny baby squid moving around and again, this sort of very faint bioluminescence coming off little dots along their skin. Some of them begin to move down towards the light under the water and vanish from view as they follow Inkspren down into the dark waters below. While Inkspren is having a swim, is there anything you'd be doing, Harry? You're muted, sorry, Dave.
I muted my mic. I didn't unmute the intro. You said that near the water, is it sandy? Is it like a beachy kind of area?
It's a bay. So there are little patches of beach along the edge where the walls of the dock haven't been built out, and where these long sections of piers haven't been set in. But there are little sandy beach areas, yeah, for sure. I'm if you wanted to even just be sort of sitting on the sand along one of these little beachy areas, absolutely. Imagine kind of like is it Porto Marinara in I can't remember where it is in. I think in like Vanuatu, or like in there's a place I'm thinking of that's like this like beautiful coastal region where a port's kind of set up on one side and then there's a sandy beach on the other, and because of the way it's positioned, the currents always keep the water crystal clear and beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Harry does the prey animal thing and checks to see if anyone is watching in the general area or like watching them.
Yeah.
Is it crowded? Is there anyone who's in the groups that are like paying them special attention, or is it like pretty private?
There are many people out and about, and you're only sort of a few hundred meters from the market district along the edge of the water. Many crews, a lot of the boats that are moored up along the edges of the piers, the crews are undocking and making their way onto shore. There's no one really paying you huge amounts of attention. There's a little bit of a kind of a look from some of the sailors as Inkspren, clad in full leather armor and leather like strips of cloth, just walks into the water, and then a moment later all of the leather floats to the surface and Inkspren's gone. You watch as a few of the Maloran orcs kind of shoot each other a look and then like hurry off quite quickly, not really sure what's going on here. You watch as one of them, a very, very large, muscular Maloran orc with one of his eyes like sort of cut through by a scar, gives you a bit of a wink and carries on looking at you just sitting on the beach with this armor floating in front of you.
Harry sits there and ponders that if they only have one eye, is it a wink or was it a blink?
Exactly. It's a good question. You're not sure. Could have been a blink. Hard to know. Yeah.
I mean, one that Harry will use another charge of his new ability and stomp on the sand to see if there's anything like buried under the sand, like treasure,
prospecting,
or like any exactly. He's like using a metal detector effectively.
Yeah.
Okay, you weren't certain of it, and now you're just going ham.
Yeah.
He's going hair. Could I get you to roll me a D100, please? See if there's any buried treasure.
Pretty good.
That's a 79.
79.
We can round that to 80 if we want.
Can we? Well, there's we'll round it up to 100 then.
I will.
As you do the stomp, you feel the pulse of sound waves move out from your foot, and then as they come back in, the sonar returning, you can see around you there are objects buried in the sand. Most of them junk, a few bottles that have been half buried in the sand. You can see shells of creatures. You can see what looks like an old boot covered over and buried in the sand. And Harry, there's a skeletal foot still inside that boot as well, about sort of 10 feet underneath you buried. And there's still a bit of an iron manacle around that ankle as well. That's a bit worrying. You're not so sure what happened there. It seems like it's connected to what looks like a little slab of concrete as well, or stone. That's not great. That's not good. But apart from that, the other thing that you find as well, there's a glass bottle with a stopper in it, and your sonar that returns tells you that it's not full of water. It's hollow with something else inside of it. It's like a roll of paper.
100% going for the foot. Now, is it a human foot?
Eventually, yeah, a humanoid, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Heart of gold, foot of a pirate.
That's a lot of digging.
10 foot's pretty deep.
I have an
yeah.
obsidian boot that could use a foot. It's not really a boot.
You could almost make a golem. You're like part of the way there.
Rankin hair. I'll get the bottle.
Yeah,
I'll try to dig it
it's
out.
only sort of 4 feet deep as you dig down, right at the edge of where your sort of sonar pulses out. As you dig down, yeah, it's a glass bottle, an old rum bottle by the looks of it. You can see the glassmaker who made this bottle has stamped what looks like a seal of some sorts. Looks like kind of like a melted partly into the surface of the glass around the neck. Looks like some sort of logo or something, but it's been eroded and smoothed away by time and by the salt water of the ocean. But the cork and the wax seal is still in place along the top. And sure enough, inside you can see no liquid, no rum, but a rolled up piece of papyrus inside the bottle.
Harry would like to put his eyes on minute seeing on and investigate for any traps or magic that might be on this.
It's very fair. Could you make me an investigation check with advantage, please?
That's
a 9 and a 6. It's all good, Harry. It's just a bottle in sand.
Harry opens it.
As soon as you break the wax and uncork the bottle, there's a hiss as air rushes in. It looks like the bottle was partially depressurized, which is interesting, Harry. That's curious. But inside, you can see the rolled up papyrus. As you tip the bottle out, it falls into your hands. You can see that this is some sort of message. Harry.
7 days.
Harry, do you speak primordial?
No, I do not speak primordial.
What?
In that case, then, the words on the page appear like this strange, almost like a script of harsh lines and flowing curves and very odd letters and appearances.
Do I recognize it as primordial?
I'm going to say that if you don't, probably not. You would recognize it as an unknown alien language as you look at it. Harry's exposure to primordial would have been exceptionally limited.
Yeah, well, Harry will put it back in the bottle and put the bottle in the bag, and he'll take a note to show the others when he's with them next.
Can you please add to your inventory? We're going to call this a primordial message in a bottle. As a hand, webbed and partially glowing, reaches up and grabs onto the leather armor and pulls it back below the surface. A moment later, you watch as Inkspren steps back up onto the shore, pulling their boots on and placing the gloves in position. You can see just the glowing eyes through that slit in the armor once again. As Inkspren, you can feel this kind of like sigh move through their body as they move and then close their eyes for a moment and then look at you and go,
Thank you for waiting. That was just what I needed. I feel so refreshed. Come, let us meet with your friends, unless there was anything you wanted to do on the way.
Oh, that sounds good. Let's get some food as well. What do you like to eat?
I have had a snack while I was washing.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll grab some carrots and let's go.
With that, you begin making your way through the market stalls. Again, I think we're going to end on no cliffhanger. This is so weird. It's just lovely.
If you want a cliffhanger, I would love a description of what the Unseen University looks like as we arrive.
As you walk up towards the Unseen University, the street that leads down to the Portside Street, or the Portside Esplanade that leads you up towards the Unseen University, you can see a massive sandstone building rising before you, aged and ancient, covered in ivy, towers rising, these 3 main towers, 2 on the sides, 1 in the very center, and these very kind of haphazard architecture, like it's been added to and built on top of many, many times. There was once this original castle, and you can see where people have slapped on like an extra wing here. There's an attachment on the side here, a balcony over there, and it's all been done by different people over many, many years. This is an old, ancient site. The walls around it are made of these interlocking sections of stone covered in overgrown mosses, ivies, and lichen, and behind them, enormous trees and hedges rise over the top, giving this very sort of overgrown and imposing kind of appearance to the outside facade of the university. The front gates are wide open, and you can see students coming and going, various ages, mostly in their late teens, early 20s at this point. You can see a couple of the older faculty, older wizards making their way out, dressed in a variety of clothing, wizards' robes, as well as other... You can see that like the university is basically like the night classes have mostly finished. It's people going about, leaving for dinner, either heading home or heading out for a night on the town. But the front doors are wide open, warm light spilling from these enormous wooden doors that head into the grand hall. And beyond, you can see thousands of floating candles lighting up the hall beyond as, students begin to come and go, moving outside the main buildings. There are a series of guards standing to attention outside the walls of the Unseen University, a mixture of various species, various genders, but all dressed in very similar
garb. These very, very well-made metal chest plates, green scarves around each of them, and what almost look like berets as well, of this sort of dark blue color. The University Guard, or the Bursar's Guard, standing to attention and keeping watch for any trouble that might be emerging from inside the halls of the university. But as you approach, you notice a familiar figure striding out from the central hall, down the steps, taking the steps two at a time, brushing past students with it. Mind, excuse me, move on. As he pushes through, you can see a large figure, very familiar, Celius Grell, as he pushes through the people, the red skin, hobgoblin kind of appearance, dark hair slicked back, and you can see under his armor a bunch of scrolls and various items sort of bundled up into this leather pouch that he's kind of clutching to his chest as he steps down and begins to make his way out the front gates. And I think that is a good place to wrap up for tonight. Again, not much of a cliffhanger, but it'll be fun. Jump in with Celius Grell at the university at night. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. That is all we have time for tonight. We will see you all again very, very soon. For those of you who are free and keen on Saturday night, oh no, this will only be for the Twitch people. For those of you listening recorded, this will already be out. But for those of you who are free and keen, Twitch on Saturday night, this coming Saturday, I will be streaming Hello Kitty Island Adventure because fuck my life. So it's going to be great fun. So feel free to come and join me for that. Thank you so much, everybody. We will be back to our regular streaming schedule from here on out. So until then, stay safe, stay well. And for those of you watching on Twitch, we are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. Let's go and raid the Plot Hook. It looks like they're streaming Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which is an excellent campaign. Let's go and start that raid. Until then, everybody, we will see you all next time. Farewell, gang. See ya!
Good night.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.